Hey, Alan, what's up, man?
Love it. How's it going, man? I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing great. On energy drink number 2. Don't tell my mom I said that. Yeah, but no, doing great, man. Hopefully you as well. And
Doing great.
Awesome, blossom. Happy Saturday, man.
Yes, thank goodness the week's over.
Right. I don't know about you. I had a busy week.
Yes, I did as well.
But not Spurs. Spurs didn't have a busy week, Alan.
No, Spurs had almost no week.
Unless it's all happening behind the scenes, which I guess is possible. And speaking of behind the scenes, not really behind the scenes. I tried to make a transition here, but we've got some people already in the chat, Alan. Whoa.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Look, Adrian's
Hello.
here. Mr. Adrian from Spurs Diehards, TTID. Adrian, big up, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And then look at this, the Godfather himself, Eltel Cockerell's in the house.
Thank goodness.
Good afternoon, Colin and Alan. You know, buddy, you are more than welcome to make an appearance. We would love to see your face.
Yes.
Guys, Jose is almost to a subs goal. And I won't tell you the goal, but we are like 10 away. So let me make sure I get Jose's link in here.
Please, let's get him over the line.
Boom. So here is that link, everybody. Please make sure you head on over to Eltel Cockerell and you know, get subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed. He's almost to that big goal he was trying to reach. So, but yeah, Alan, you know, just wanted to talk Spurs stuff and rumors, because there's not a whole lot besides rumors right now. So figured we can maybe hop into some that I've seen that are kind of got me a little excited. That's stuff that I'm hopeful for. And yeah, just basically wanted to pick your brain a bit. But look, Swap's in the house as well, saying basically they are busy in offloading players. Remember, 10 plus players might be shown an exit for sure. And that's
They need
really
to be shown an exit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we forget too, or we can't forget, should I say, that, you know, the Euros are happening, Copa America, you know, so these guys are going to be busy. The players aren't going to be around to actually negotiate, you know, their deals. A lot of these players, and so I think a lot of the transfers are going to wait until these tournaments are over. Do you mostly agree?
I mean, I think that behind the scenes, I have to imagine that their agents are already negotiating stuff, and while the players are there, they may say, you know, oh well, I really don't want to, you know, say anything because I'm just concentrating on the Euros. But I think behind the scenes, a lot's going on.
I hope you're correct. Swap has a comment here I really like too, but we're going to jump back to Abbott Star. He says, but only Spence news is advanced. That's worrisome. Still no news about Emerson. And then he pointed out, yeah, the other players, but they're busy in the Euros. 100% agree. I know for a fact that is a stumbling block, or you know, something kind of holding us back from completing transfers. It has to be. But yeah, Swap saying only the Spence news is advanced. Still no news about Emerson, which ties into one of the banners I had. Who's taking Emerson? Someone, please take Emerson. And before the show had started, you and I were talking about the player. So I thought, hey, let's table that and let's hit it during the show. So yeah, we still have Emerson on the books. I was talking about how. Well, we were talking about how Levy seems to maybe price players too high sometimes when he's trying to get rid of them. He'll price them outside of their value.
Yes.
And you were saying that you thought that that's what's happening with Emerson currently with that 20 million price tag that Levy slapped on him.
Yeah, I do. I think that he comes to the negotiating table with a price a little too high, and I think he expects a low ball bid. And then, like you were saying, we kind of meet in the middle. I would take 15, 12 and a half for him and bid him adieu and just thank him for his service. Exactly.
Yeah. I get it. But am I crazy? I think, and I'll ask people in the chat, I think we can get 20 out of him. I really do. And I think perhaps that's why we're still shopping him around, because maybe the powers that be think that they can get that much for him as well. Everybody in the chat, is 20 million too much for Emerson? What would you sell Emerson for? Alan's saying 12 and a half, 15. I'm saying hold on for the 20, but it may never come. That can end up biting us. So
I'm kind of thinking we have to sell a lot of players, and I think we sell the players. We show that we're motivated sellers by discounting the players a little bit, we're never going to make back on almost any of the players what we bought them for. Yeah. But as long as we can, and there's depreciation on the players, and I think that players are money wise, it's just they're not worth what they were when we bought them. But
the game has changed for sure.
Yeah, but I would say if we discount a little bit, you can move volume. And I think that's really how we have to look at it. We have to be motivated sellers, move volume. Because then if you get like 70, 80 million pounds that you can add to the transfer budget, then that's 70 or 80 million more that doesn't have to come out of Levy's pocket, and we can make some marquee signings.
Well, that's I guess saying that the money doesn't go into his pocket instantly, and then we got to take it back out of his pocket. No, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Always good to add to the transfer budget. Like you said, maybe taking several smaller fees for players that we need to offload anyway is the way to go, rather than holding out for a certain sum of money. You're saying just get them out, get the wages off the books, get those small transfer fees in, which would then equal hopefully one marquee signing. And Swap is saying here, plus they will bring in a marquee signings, and maybe these rumors are just a screen to sign that marquee player. Remember how Basuma was signed, and that's a good point. Basuma did seem to just kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was a stealth signing, and like Swap was saying earlier, 10 plus players might be shown the exit. If you on average get like 10 million pounds for them, I mean, some of them will be more, some of them might be a little less, but 10 million with 10 players, it's 100 million pounds right there. So it may seem like, oh, well, we didn't sell Emerson for enough, but on the whole, if we can get 10 players out the door, that would be like 100 million pounds. I think we can do good business, even if individually, if you look at them, say, well, we could have gotten more. We could always get more. You know what I mean?
Or we could get stuck with them another year and then end up paying their wages, continuing to pay their wages. So yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think that's what a lot of fans have been wanting from Levy, is just for him to sell it at an acceptable price, not to hold, our players to such a high valuation that we never end up being able to get rid. So yeah, very good point. I appreciate it. And I agree with you big time, bro. And speaking of people that I appreciate big time, look, it's Chris Agambar in the house. Hi, Chris. Hope you are well today, sir. Hope you are well. And I hope you're taking care of yourself, and I hope you're having fun watching the Euros. And yeah, man, good to see you. So on this notion of players maybe being valued too high, there's this kid that I really want. It's never going to happen, but I made you watch some tape of him earlier.
Yes.
Archie Gray rumors. Not much there, but he would be ace at inverted fullback. The valuation numbers I've heard, from him or about him from Leeds people are nuts. I've heard somebody say 80 million for the guy. 60 to 80 is what I hear. Do you think that could be another one of those instances where perhaps they are putting a very high price on, so that if it were to ever come to a negotiation, that then they could counter something more reasonable? Do you think that's the case with him, or do you think they literally just value him at 80 million and bugger off?
No, I think the 80 million price tag is there basically to tell people to F off. They're not. I think that they really don't want to lose him. Look, they came within a hair's breadth of getting promoted. They lost in the end in the championship playoffs or whatever.
Just barely. You know what I mean?
Just barely.
They couldn't have gotten any closer if they wanted to.
Yeah. So I think they don't want to start losing their marquee players before they make it into the Premier League. I think had they been promoted, they probably would have been a little more motivated, because then they would have had
more money coming in to replace the players. They would have had, exactly. Those payments that you get, or that lump sum that you get for making it into the Premier League, the increased TV money.
But I think that they're pricing him. They are definitely they're pricing him out, but not to say that they wouldn't sell him. They've just kind of slapped on a price tag. I just don't know what kind of negotiating room they have. We have one, possibly two players we were talking about that they want in Joe Rodon and Oliver Skipp. And those players, if they could land them, they're both Premier League players. They already know how Rodon plays. They've seen Skipp in the championship help a team get promoted. So I think we have some leverage that other teams who just come to the table with cash may not have, because we have cash. We're not FFP concerned.
Yeah, and it's not strapped in that regard in any way. If rumors are to be believed, we've got tons of money.
Right. So we have money, and we have players that they definitely want. So I think we have a pretty good shot, but the question is, do they really want to see him leave, even if they bring two players in that they also want? I just don't know.
And as far as I can tell, or as far as I've heard, he's like a third generation Leeds player. Like, I think his granddad and his dad both were Leeds players. So if that's the case, then it's going to be even harder to pry him away, because he likes being there. I think that had they come up to the Premier League, I think maybe he would have been more likely to want to leave, because he would have thought that he kind of did his job. He got them where they deserve to be. He might have seen that as, and I don't want to say job done, but like he accomplished something there, and so moving away wouldn't have been such a big deal. But at this point, I think he's got unfinished business at Leeds. I think he knows that, they know that. I think he wants to get them into the Premier League. It's tough. They definitely are pricing him out, but he would be so good. The bit you saw, right? The bit of the video I had you watch.
Fantastic.
He would be so incredible in that inverted fullback role. He's defensively aware enough, but he's so good in tight spaces, so pressure resistant, such a good dribbler of the ball, deceptively good. I think he would be phenomenal.
He looks young too.
Oh yeah, very young. So you could kind of build your midfield around him for years. I don't know if I would play him as like an out and out just regular like a midfielder, or if I would play him in that inverted fullback role. But I feel like he'd be a great player for us. I really wish that was something we could get done, and maybe someday we will. But it's just not to be right now. But hey, we got some more people in the chat. We got Audio Artisan. What's up, brother? Says afternoon chaps in chat. Big up, brother. Hope you were having a nice Saturday. And then Adrian comes in saying Højbjerg's price must have gone up after his performance against England. And don't you worry, Adrian. We're going to talk about that for sure. Yep. I'll star that though, so I don't forget it. But yeah, it must have. It must have gone up. He always plays well internationally, though. Have you noticed that, Alan?
He does.
Game suits international football better than club football, perhaps.
Well, there are certain players that just play better for their country. We talk about like the Argentinians. It's like they have like a passion for the Argentinian team. Højbjerg, I think, has that passion for his Denmark team, which is kind of I want to see him leave. It is a little frustrating that it seems like he's hit or miss for us, but for Denmark, he's awesome.
I honestly think it's because international football is played at like a step slower than the Premier League. You have a little more time on the ball. Teams don't have time to practice with each other as much, so everything just seems a little more disjointed and slowed down. And I honestly think that suits his game. It gives him an extra moment on the ball to kind of look around, to be aware, and also that his Denmark isn't playing the same type of style as Spurs. I think they're playing something that's more akin to like a counter-attacking side, a la Mourinho, where he played well, where he looked great. Conte, where he played well, looked great. I just think that his, the way that Denmark plays suits him. I think international football suits him. I don't know. You're right. It is frustrating. Kind of like Lo Celso, where, like you're saying, he plays well for the national team. Not always so good for Spurs. And I'm skipping out. I'm going to get way behind on these comments. Woo! Donna's here. Hello, Donna. Wagwan, Donna. And then we've got Leo, Mile High Hotspur, saying, good morning, my homies. I've been up for a while, so I kind of forgot it's early morning still. But good morning, Leo. Boop. There's some knuckles for you, buddy. Donna wants to let us know that she's starting her own show. Came here to tell all her friends. Big up. Donna is awesome. We will be here.
From the boardroom.
Yeah, we'll be there to watch. Don't worry. We're excited to see what you guys are cooking up in there. Here's an interesting thing. No Audio says, have you seen the story about Royale being investigated for criminal association and fraud? No. I have not. Let me do some investigating on that one.
Criminal association.
So I'll put this banner up because we don't know. Maybe he is. Let me look into that. That could be why we haven't heard anything about his transfer. You know what I mean? Until that stuff dies down, people usually aren't excited to bring somebody in. Criminal. Let's see what comes up here. Yeah, this is all. Everything I've seen is just weird sources.
Yeah.
He's being investigated for criminal association, embezzlement, and procedural fraud. So someone in the comments here, so I'm looking at a Reddit post, and someone in the comments is saying, I don't know anything about Brazilian law, but the headline is a bit dramatic. It sounds like a business dispute resulting in a lawsuit, but there is now a police investigation based on allegations of one of the parties. I will maintain a healthy dose of skepticism until more info comes out. And that was roughly an hour ago, or not roughly an hour ago, sorry, roughly a day ago, 24 hours or so ago that comment came out. But that's good to know. A lot of times these headlines and things will over dramatize things, make them seem like a bigger deal. But yeah,
it doesn't seem like a very big deal. It just
sweet.
It
it shouldn't mess up his transfer to Italy because they're all criminals over there. He'll fit right in with all those Italian teams that are always getting in trouble for crimes.
Oh man, I mean, there are players that are investigated for horrible crimes, even in the Premier League. So this is nothing like that. This is
exactly. I don't want to talk too much, but yeah, a certain Arsenal player that we've talked about.
Yes,
that type of stuff is the stuff that would turn me off from a player. Not so much of this or even Ivan Toney's gambling thing. Is it weird that doesn't bother me near as much as that bothers a lot of people?
It doesn't bother me like Thomas Partey or something like that.
Right. Exactly. But Swap saying he doesn't think it might not be reliable. Only one source claims it. Big up, Swap. I didn't even know. So thanks for letting us know, guys.
Yeah. That's really good to know.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting
deep cut.
Yeah. You got someone's got the criminal. They know some cops or something. Big up.
Yeah.
Audio saying sounds crazy. He just got married as well, which is nuts, dude. Hopefully for him and his family and everything, everybody's okay. It all turns out to just be a misunderstanding or small crime that he doesn't, go away for. Oh man, Ryan G, our favorite Wolf supporter. Ryan, what's up, dude? Sending big up to both of us.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, dude. Hope you're well, man. Hope you're well. Donna's telling us it's not true. Donna's waving it off, everybody. Donna says, not true. This is done by our rivals to spoil my work about Mr. S in Royale. Donna, thank you so much for clearing it up. She also follows it up with, he is a good boy, best right back we can get.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. And she says that he's royalty, not a criminal. Big love, Donna. Thank you.
Royalty, not criminality. Got it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And she should know because she's head of the PR department. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, dude, look at this. Early Doors Football TV. What's up, dog? How's it going, Tony? Hope you're doing well, man.
I am a subscriber.
Good stuff. Me too. Me too. It hurt me to subscribe to a West Ham guy. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I love you. Even though you had what was that dude's name? Mark Noble on your team for so long. God, I hated Mark Noble. Blech. I don't know why. it was like a unexplained hatred. I can't even tell you. Oh, look at this. And he's bigging you up especially. So, yo, thank you, dog. Thank you. We got James Love Spurs in the house saying big up, James. Hope you're doing good, man. Haven't seen any content on your page in a while, James. Better get back on the horse, man. We're in this together. You can't quit. Czech Republic just equalized. Why don't I have those scores pulled up? Thanks for letting us know, man. So the Euros have been pretty crazy so far. Alan, have you got to watch any?
No, unfortunately, here in the U.S., we don't really get an opportunity to watch it unless.
I'll send you some links for the games if you want. Yeah, I can definitely help you out there.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see what else though. So Czech Republic football team. Just want to see. Yeah. Oh wait. So you said they equalized, but it's still saying it's the 60th minute and it's 1-0 Georgia. Maybe it got counted off for offside or something. Anyway, I'll be watching the scores. Thanks a lot, Ryan. I appreciate you. And everyone in the chat's bigging each other up. I love it.
Love that.
Yeah, it's all love and blood and war. Love it. Love that. Everybody's here. Oh, look at this. We got Niall Kane in the house. What's up, Niall? Or the man from Montrose. What's up, buddy? Oh, now I see it. Now they just updated the score. Czech Republic has definitely equalized. And then we got everybody just bigging each other up. Can't get enough of it, man. Mm-hmm. So speaking of the Euros, though, I have a question, and this is also for everybody in the chat. Should Southgate get the sack mid-tournament for just being such a terrible manager? Clearly, the answer is no. You'd never want to do that, but he's doing a pretty bad job, huh? And I noticed that after the Denmark-England result, Harry Kane, I feel like I still got to defend him, even though he's not here anymore, even though he left to go win trophies that he didn't win, and even though he whatever. Love him. Got a lot of undue hatred, I feel like, after that match. And even some of the pundits, like the commentators, were just unfairly, just absolutely digging into Kane. If Kane drops deep to collect the ball to get involved, they get pissed off. They slag him off. If he stays up top and they don't get him any service, they get pissed off. They slag him off. It's like the guy can't do anything. He scored a goal. He scored England's goal. You know,
that's what to say. Didn't he score the goal? I mean,
yes.
How much more do they want from the guy? Considering he's trying to play the way Southgate. I think it says more about Southgate than anything.
Yeah, no, definitely. 100%.
Southgate definitely needs the tea bag, like right away, if England is going to succeed.
And I feel like this has been known for years. I mean, yeah, Southgate did get them to a final. You know, that did happen. But it's just the style of football is so boring, so stale. And I don't know if I can find the images again. I had some stuff pulled up on Twitter, but I didn't save it because I'm an idiot. But it was basically showing how the way England plays is not how any of the best players on the national team. It's not how they play their club football. That there were so many times when it was players that were showing for the ball for Pickford that they just wanted a pass from Pickford, play out from the back, and instead Pickford just hits it as far and long as he can. He goes long every time when they want to play out from the back. And It's almost like Southgate has them trying to play a type of football that they don't play. They're not controlling the game. They're not controlling tempo. They're not controlling possession. They're trying to limit the amount of. They're trying to keep the ball away from their goal, and I don't know. It's just a weird. It almost seems like an immature way of playing, like kids out there. I don't know. It's not a very confident way of playing football, and maybe it's the key for tournament football, but it hasn't produced any results yet.
No, I don't know because he's not coming from a place of success, so I don't know what he's basing his strategy on. And I think he is a little too loyal to certain players, starting certain players over other players who probably are a little more dynamic. I feel like he could almost say nothing and just say, "Hey guys, go do your thing," and then that would be all the coaching they'd really need.
It would be better. It would be better than what we're seeing.
It's an all-star team. I think of other sports with their all-star teams. Yes, there's a coach because there has to be a coach, but they don't really have to say much to those guys. They know what they're doing. They're the high, they're highly compensated players, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're at the height of their game. Just let them do their thing.
Yeah, big time agree. James didn't even watch the last England game. Southgate football is boring and so risky, especially if we sit back one up and then concede every time. Thank God. Yes, James, exactly. Get Southgate the hell out of there. I can think of, let's get Mauricio Pochettino. He doesn't have a job. Let's have him be the England national team coach. That would actually be pretty fun to watch. Can't deny it. And it would bring back Poch and Kane. I think it's a no-brainer, guys. I think you guys need to put all your eggs into the getting Pochettino as England coach basket, and you guys might win the tournament.
They could get Ted Lasso. I think it would be just fine. That seriously, you don't really need someone that's going to do too much coaching. I think the players know what they need to do. I think these are players that have probably encountered each other even when they were younger, because they're all England players. They
came through the youth England setups, exactly, the under 21s and all that.
I think that they're stifled by Southgate. He's like he sucks all the life out of everything. This guy, he's like a vampire.
Yeah, no fun. It does not look like that football they're playing is any fun at all.
No.
And players play their best when they're enjoying themselves. Paulio is in the house. He's saying Potter for England. That's a good shout, actually. I'm not sure what's he up to right now. And then Jazz Fusion, what's up, Jazz? Says Gareth Bale on attacking. I love it. Yeah, dude. Southgate's not too worried about attacking. He knows Kane will tap one in, and then you can sit back and try to defend a 1-0 lead. He thinks he's Mourinho or something, but he's not. Potter for England. I think that's a good shout. And James says if Pep had this team, we win the Euros.
I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know how much this team needs a heavy-handed coach. Pep ball is very different than what I think they're used to. If you notice the players, they go down very easily and they complain a lot and they get free kicks and then they take advantage of those free kicks and stuff. But I don't think England needs to play like Pep ball even to win. They have such talent. I just think I think Southgate is a little too loyal. I love Harry Kane, but I would love to see Ivan Toney get a chance.
Oh my God, me too. Yeah, just switch it up.
Switch things up.
Play two up top. Play Kane and Toney. Just do something different.
Do something different. I think England is very predictable in the lineup, and everyone knows exactly how Southgate plays, and it's easy to defend against. So I don't see why.
And there's weaknesses that are easy to exploit. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a good system. He hasn't ever really changed it. I mean, is Harry Maguire? Is he just injured right now? I think he's injured. And if that's
he didn't get picked. He was part of that. With Madison, he was one of those that didn't make the cut. Maybe they had a breakup. Maybe Southgate was finally able to steal back the
the tapes,
the
whatever he's
tapes
got on him.
or whatever he's got on him. So
yeah, the dirt, whatever dirt he's got. Maybe
whatever dirt he finally had like a private investigator finally, sneak into the house or whatever and take it.
He's got copies. He's got copies.
Backups.
Oh yeah, has to have backups. But no, interesting stuff with Palio, who you're saying Potter wants the job too. I think that would be an amazing. I think that would be an amazing thing for England, for the national team, for Potter himself. I think that he could get some accolades. Seems like a smart move. I would definitely go for it. And I don't know what. So I'll flip this on you real quick. What type of? I mean, this England team, would you rather see them in like a Pep Guardiola style attacking football, control possession type of play? Do you think they've got the players for it? Because obviously. Within Manchester City, there are quite a few players who aren't English, so that are responsible for making that team turn over and tick how it does. But I think that England have players that could step in and compensate. I think they could play that style, and I think it would be beneficial. And hopefully, Potter gets some more kind of in line with that if he does come in. In fact,
well, he's got such talent. I mean, Harry Kane, Pep has the big man up front. Well, with Harry Kane, that's not much of a difference. They're both insane strikers, and Phil Foden already knows how to play Pep ball. Bellingham is amazing. Eze there. It's crazy talent. You wish you had all of those players at Tottenham.
Jesus Christ, yeah, man, and
imagine.
And just playing people out of position, as Ryan says here, why do we keep like smashing? I say we, I'm not English, but you know what I'm saying. Why do England keep smashing Foden onto the left when he's not a left winger, where he can't really influence the game from there? It's just annoying stuff, man. And Ryan agrees. Put Bellingham as the 8, Foden in the 10, and a proper left winger. I fully agree. Polio agrees too. Foden should be a 10. And then we've got a celebrity in the house. We've got Donna Cullen and Ted Lasso in the same chat. He says, "Howdy, folks." I'm trying to do his voice, but I can't. He said, "Did somebody call for me?" Yes, we did, Ted.
Yes.
Glad you're here, buddy. We need you to step in and take over the England national team job. Gareth Southgate is not doing it. Your boy Gary cannot doing it. Oh my God, Southgate wears a seatbelt when hoovering his car. Love it. Yeah, you don't want to fall over, man. You don't want to fall over.
That's great.
I'm ready for the England job and play soccer with Harry Kane. I will play Trent as quarterback. Sounds like you got it, Ted. It sounds like you got it, man. You get it. You got it. You're good. Signed. I'm going to tell Southgate he's fired at halftime. The next match. So I've been all over the place with this episode. Sorry about that.
To answer this question, yes, I think I don't think it would harm the team if they got rid of Southgate midstream here in the middle of the tournament. I think that we would, in fact, you'll get new manager bounce, and the team just feels like someone mentioned seatbelt. It feels like they've all got a seatbelt on. If you were to have a coach that allowed them to just attack and do their thing, man, this team has all the talent. I wish America had talent like that, on one squad.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say here's something that somebody on Twitter, just a random Twitter user, put out there. But look at this team. You've got Foden and Bellingham in the middle and midfield there, with Rice sitting deep. You've got a back four, Trippier, Guehi, Stones, Walker, and then top front three of Saka, Kane, and Gordon. And I feel like you could change around that top front three quite a bit, and it would still be effective.
Oh my God.
But yeah, look at that. That team would eat other teams for lunch. And
Yes.
Is it that hard to do? Is it that hard to get? If us fans can see it, I really don't understand how Gareth Southgate can not see it.
I know when you have a coach that is stifling, you don't get the best out of the players, even if they play exactly how you want them to play. And I wonder if that's what's happening here, where they're like, God, this guy, everyone sits in the locker room and they're like, I don't want to listen to this guy anymore, man. I hate playing this style. I bet you they're frustrated. I have a feeling that they look like from what I can tell from highlights, they look like they're players that are playing frustrated.
I would be. I absolutely would be as well. So I get it. I truly get it. Anyway, get through some more comments here. Ryan G, give players like Cole Palmer a chance as well. Southgate does my head in. Ready, salted, crisp, loving Pratt. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. James Love Spurs says that Jude is their superstar, and I feel like he might be being used ineffectively as well. Ted says that
winner.
Exactly. Euros ain't ready for Ted Lasso ball, says Ted. And then we got Shentan in the house. What's up, Shentan? He says, hey, Mr. Junior Assistant Colin and Alan, I hope you're both well. Turkey. And so is there a better way for me to pronounce that? Like how you would pronounce that if you were like from Turkey? Is it like Turkey, or is it just anyway? I heard some announcer, like a commentator, say it real strange the other day. Made me wonder if I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So
I think probably Turkey. You're good.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure I didn't want to offend anyone or just sound like a douchebag. Ted says, let me call my friend Jose Mourinho and learn about European football. I didn't know you guys were friends, but that makes sense with your time at Spurs, his time at Spurs. And then Polio was telling us, too, that Palmer had a fallout with Southgate. Probably wouldn't be hard. You just have to say, hey, man, why do you look so fucking weird? And then he'd say, you're never playing for my team again. No, I'm just kidding. But Southgate really is a interesting man. I wonder what he's like outside of football. I wonder what hanging out with him for a night would be like, if it would be any fun at all.
I doubt
or if you just do puzzles. You think he does a lot of puzzles? He seems like a puzzle. Like he's got a big one on his coffee table right now. And he's got like 4 pieces left. And he's like, I don't want to finish it because then, what am I going to do?
He looks more like a knitter, maybe. He does, like he watches TV and knits.
But I haven't seen him in anything crocheted. So, you know what I mean? I would think if he was a knitter, then he would be wearing some of his, knitted goods. So we might see him on the touchline with like a knitted cap or something. But I haven't seen that. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. It would be a boring night. My God, I would not. That's one of those nights where it's like, you're going out and there are people. Then there's that one guy in the group where you're like, oh man, this guy's gonna bring it all down.
Yeah,
that's
and you're like, how do we get rid of Gary? You're like, we got to get rid of Gary tonight.
How do we get rid of this guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you got to get him good and drunk.
Oh man, can you imagine? What would he drink? What's Gareth Southgate's drink of choice? Do you think? I'm going with like a pear cider, something that's like not beer exactly,
like a Zima kind of thing.
Oh yeah, a nice little What would be the equivalent of Zima in England? I don't know if they have Zimas. Just like a wine cooler kind of. Like a sparkling wine cooler thing.
Like a Four Loko maybe.
Ooh, Four Lokos are wild. He'd be crazy. Get Gareth Southgate a Four Loko, and that guy might put out the team we want him to put out. Get a little wild. Take some risks, man.
That's what it is. The guy's too straight and narrow. He needs to loosen up.
Yeah, he does. Get him some lady action before a game. You know what I mean? I think that might help him too. He just looks stiff. He just looks like he could use a relax. However that may come, he needs to relax a bit. James said apparently everyone was awful against Denmark. Should be beating them with their talent. Absolutely. Ted, yes, they call it football in Europe, but you're an American and you can call it whatever the hell you want. Okay, bud?
Yeah, they call it soccer.
Yeah. How do I think the USA will do in the Copa America? That's a good question. I'm going to pass that off to you, Alan, because I've been talking way too much.
I think they're going to do pretty well. There's a lot of talent, I think, on the American team, and they do pretty well, generally speaking. So I mean, there are good teams that America plays in the Copa America, but generally, I think that we will do fairly well. I don't think we'll win, but I think we'll do pretty well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. So I know attacking wise, we're pretty talented. We've got some nice midfielders and some nice, strikers / wide attacking players too. It's our defense that I'm most worried about, just because, and that isn't even based on anything. It's just that I haven't seen enough of them playing together to know how solid the defense is. But that's the only place where I would be worried. But I don't think we'll have any problem scoring goals. Ryan,
didn't our goalie just get in? Was he injured? what's his name from Arsenal?
I don't know. Hold on, real quick. USA.
I see his face. He got a beard.
Matt Turner.
Matt Turner.
No. Is that him? Okay, cool. He plays for Forest, so it might not be him.
He plays for Forest, but he was with Arsenal.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Well, I'm glad I'm not too crazy on that then. But yeah, Ryan, hope that answers your question. We answered it with a non-answer. We say, we'll do okay. Probably not win.
He's the thing about the American team. A lot of them play in the MLS, but the MLS has gotten a lot better as they recruit players from Europe. You know, they have Messi now. They have and Luis Suarez. And,
yeah. That Miami team is fucking stacked, bro.
We knew it would be. I remember when Beckham was. It was all the rumors that Beckham was wanting to establish a club in Miami and stuff, and everyone, all the talk was, if he does it, he's going to bring someone like Messi and Luis Suarez, and the team's going to be stacked. And he did exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hate it, to be honest, for the league. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I love it. The league's getting better," but it's definitely to making teams like my beloved Nashville SC suffer because we can't attract talent like that. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm not bitter. Cool.
Well, we
Messi's
have
great.
With Los Angeles. We have
has Miami
have our former.
Sorry about that. Oh, goalkeeper. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to see him. So let me check on these matches real quick. I want to see Nashville. I know they play tonight against New York City. Oh my God! And then next Saturday, June 29th, Miami comes to Nashville.
You should go.
I have tickets. Yeah, I probably will see Messi in person. That'd be like my only chance ever. So, and I'm like right behind the goal. I could probably like yell at him and he'd hear me. That's interesting. It's interesting stuff. Cool. If I do that, I'll definitely make a vlog. And in case anybody's interested in knowing how the MLS kind of works and what it's like to go to an MLS match. I know Leo does the same type of thing with Colorado Rapids. So that'd be really cool. We ought to do that. Who else have we got in here? There's some people being funny. Shemtan saying he's offended at the way that I pronounce Turkey. I love it. And then Daniel Coys is in the house. What is up, Daniel, my man? England don't even deserve my time to talk about them. They are shite, says Daniel. I love it, man. I love it. And then we got 3-4 all. What's up, dude? I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. So if I haven't, very, very nice to have you. Please, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like or subscribe, dude. It'd be really nice to have you along for the ride. We do fun stuff. It's a fun place to be. So yeah, but let me read out your comment. He says Southgate doesn't inspire. Wrong system. Wrong starting 11. Should have never been given a job, let alone stayed on as long as he has. Useless. Tottenham probably beat his England team. Dude, I don't think you're wrong at all. At all. It's just so boring, and they're basically daring teams to come at them, and they do. And I don't know. I just can't understand the sitting back after one goal. I can't understand it. But I know I'm not the only one frustrated with that too, from what I've been seeing on Twitter and the like. Ryan G was talking about his drink. He said he drinks something bland. He knows that. Sour grapes and flavorless water. I love it. Brian G asking about the keeper, asking if he was at Forest. Yep. Appreciate you, dog. Ted saying he wants to buy Jamie Tart for England. How much would he cost? It's transfer shopping time, so I would be able to buy my dude. It's a good one. I don't know if he'd fit in. We have a kind of a locker room culture, the dressing room culture we're trying to build, and I don't know if Jamie Tart would fit in, man.
Third season Jamie Tart would probably be fine. Yeah,
true. He's got to leave, come back, be humbled, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's Marco Royce is moving to the MLS. Interesting.
I think he is also moving. Well, I thought
Forsberg is there now as well. Yeah.
Didn't Marco Royce retire?
He might have Michael Jordaned it. You know what I mean? Who knows? That wouldn't be impossible. But we have accidentally talked about England for a long time, and I didn't not want to, but it was longer than I had anticipated. So we'll move on to the next thing, if no one cares. Sorry to just jump topics like that, but I'm not very good at keeping the show on topic. We've got questions about Pierre. We all know Pierre is looking to leave. He's playing great tournament football right now. Do you think a Mourinho meetup is in his future, Alan?
I think it's more likely that we would see a Conte reunion than we would a Mourinho reunion, because Mourinho just went to, where did he go? Galatasaray or something?
He's one of the Turkey teams, one of the top 2 teams in Turkey, but I forget which one.
Oh no, he went to Feyenoord, I think, because not Feyenoord. Where the hell did he go?
He is manager of Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce, that's it.
Fenerbahce. So that is where he is. And I don't know. I don't think that's like. I don't think that Højbjerg is too good for the Turkish league.
I think that he wanted to go to like the Italian league. I think he's been wanting to go there for a while, and I think he liked working with Conte, to be honest. And Conte showed his love for Højbjerg early in the, before the transfer window started. They were speculating that he would go there. So I do think that Berhalter's like an American Southgate. The more talent he has, the worse he coaches.
Can't give the guy too many decisions.
It happens in a lot of sports. It when you're dealing with a lot of personalities, big personalities, and a lot of all-stars, it can be difficult to manage that. And I think Southgate's just the wrong person to manage that. I think he's playing it as if he's like these people need
coaching.
A lot of coaching.
But in fact, they just need.
They really don't need a lot. They just need some guidance. Yeah, they just need a little bit of guidance. Guys, go this way, do this. That's it.
Get Zidane in there. He seemed to do a good job at Madrid with all of those egos. Maybe maybe you could do something here. And he kind of just let them play. So maybe that's what we need. I jumped back into England. Sorry about that. But so we're back to Højbjerg. And you say you don't think it's super likely that he goes to Fenerbahce.
I mean, unless something happens with the Italian league, I don't see him going there. If something doesn't happen with like Conte or one of the Italian teams, then it's possible if he's guaranteed first team football, because that's what he's looking for. He wants consistent first team football. And to be honest, he deserves it. He's trying really hard. We can see it in the Euros, what he's done.
Yeah, he doesn't fit Ange's system. He just doesn't
fit the system. And it's not fair to him. Yes, right, exactly, Ryan. He was man of the match versus in England. He doesn't fit the system, and it's just not fair to him. And it's like a bunch of players. Emerson Royale's the same way. I think he gets first team football at AC Milan. I just don't think he fits our system, which is why he's not getting that. And
I do think, though, if he gets first team football at AC Milan, I think that he will be the weak point in their defense, and I still think that he will probably get targeted by opposition players as like the they're going to attack down that left side or the right side of his of Inter. Or AC Milan.
You could be right. You could be right,
but that would be like he's that strong of a defender to me. But
that would be a them problem at that point, which is the most important thing. It would be a them problem.
Wash my hands of that issue.
Yes,
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to be able to do that.
And which is why, again, I'm going to repeat that I would sell players at a discount just to move them on, so that everybody's happy.
For their own career, even.
Yeah, go do your thing. I feel like we're holding players hostage.
A bit. And I think players feel like that. And I think the more we do that, the harder time we're going to have attracting players to come to Spurs in the first place if they feel like they can't get a move out when they need one.
Yes.
It'd be different if we were holding on to a player that was playing every week. We were relying on them. They were a cornerstone of the team. And then we were holding on to them. But holding on to guys that don't get to play, it almost just seems kind of like a kick in the nuts. We're like, oh, hey, you got 2 years in the tank? Well, spend one of them sitting on the bench, you prick. You know what I mean? Right. Like, it's just not very nice.
I have a question, actually. Do you have another topic you want to bring up?
No, you go, man. I've been monopolizing the show.
Something that I wanted to talk about that kind of, and maybe with the chat as well, if they have ideas. Sonny's only got the 1 year left And the question is, do we extend his contract or do we sell him? And if you extend his contract, it means he's going to leave on a free, or you sell him now while he still has the value, and you could get like 50 million for him. Thank her out. Do you want to let him leave on a free, or do you want to sell him and make money on him? And I how do you feel about that?
That's fucking tough, man. Pardon my language, everybody. By the way, I've said the F word 3 times. I think the show's officially not monetized. No big deal. But I did want to say, yeah, that's super tough. And it's very similar to kind of the Kane question that we all were posing last summer. Whenever it was like, do we let Kane go for money? Do we let Kane go for free to any team he wants after that? With this, we have to think if we were to sell him, we have a little bit more control over where he goes, which could be a good thing for Spurs. It was definitely a good thing with Kane. We didn't want to play against Kane, and we made sure that he went to a league where we would no longer have to really play against him unless it was in a European competition. So with Sonny, if we did decide to sell him, we could do that. It's hard because Sonny scored so many clutch goals for us last season. But we all said those goals from Kane weren't going to get scored by anyone. Well, where are they going to come from? Well, Sonny scored them because he was there. And I do think that if we have another player of quality there, they will score a lot of those same goals as well.
Yes.
I think it's disingenuous to say that like without X player, we score X many less goals. You know what I mean? It's like you can't say it so definitively like that. But Sonny did win us a lot of matches, won us a lot of points. Had his second best season, I think, in terms of goal scoring, which is crazy when you think about some of his performances. I don't know, man. I think if you sold him, I think you could get more than like 60 out of him. I think you're looking like up that towards 80. And if we could get that much money, I would say sell him this window. But okay. I don't like it. It feels dirty to say. It feels dirty.
I mean, I love, Son Heung-min. I love. And I guess, yeah, I mean, Ange, he's the captain, but we were looking for Chelsea to sell their captain to us, in Gallagher. I think for the price, I don't want to see him leave on a free. Again, that would
maybe even go to another team in England. I don't think he would, but if he went to another English team too, it would just like kind of suck.
It wouldn't hurt as much as Harry Kane going to it, because Harry Kane is a 30 goal plus goal scorer a season player, and whereas
a high assist number there too.
Yes, and Son Heung-min is a good player. I would say I was in equal parts happy with how he played and disappointed with how he played, because there were games that he didn't show up at all. He missed some real sitters. We did play him out of position for a lot of the season, in the center, where he got a majority of his goals. And I think he plays better on the left. But I don't know. I was just saying, my God, Colin's gone all potty mouth when it comes to the weekend.
No, I fucking haven't, Tony. Come on, man. No. You're crazy, Tony. You're crazy.
Yes. I would be okay with him leaving. Look, he's going to be, was he going to be 32 coming up? He's not at the beginning or the middle. He's towards the end of his career. And he still retained a majority, even with some depreciation. He's maintained a majority of his value. This is the kind of player that you say, you know what, as much as it would hurt, you sell him, you get the money for him, and then you go get another marquee player that's younger and hungry. And Son Heung-min will do well wherever he goes. I don't think he's the game changer that Harry Kane is.
Yeah, true.
Personally, true. I don't think will we sell him? I doubt it.
He's a very prolific goal scoring winger, and those aren't super easy to come by. I know that last season he didn't do a great job, but like you said, I think you answered kind of your own question, just because he was being played down the middle, where he was occupying some space where there were two central defenders that are every time bigger and stronger than he is. just one-on-one, but he's got two defenders to kind of contend with there. Whereas on the wing, fullbacks are generally smaller guys, and you're only up against one. I think he does a better job there. I think he can get into the half spaces better there than he does in the middle. And he obviously has absolutely no hold-up play, none, which I think kind of messed us up a little bit this season. I think that kind of forced us to play a weird, disjointed game. We weren't able to use, our striker to get other players involved.
And he's not an aerial threat.
Yeah.
Like at all.
No, not even a little bit. I don't even know when the last time I saw him get on a header was. Has he ever scored a headed goal for Spurs? I'll have to check. I mean, I'm sure, but I can't remember him.
I don't think. If he has, I don't remember it.
Right. Ted Lasso wants to buy Sonny for the England team. Is there time? Ted, we're going to have to talk later, buddy. Sorry. Potty mouth on the weekend. Ted says, though, that he wants me to be the squad cheer boy up for the job. You got it. Absolutely, I am. And then I'm asking everybody in the chat, what do you guys do regarding Son in this scenario that Alan has kind of painted for us? Do you sell him this summer, or do you extend the contract by one season and let him go for free? What would you guys do? Tony's got his answer in. Big up, Tony. Big love, Tony. He says if you're going to sell Son, this is probably the best time to do it, to be honest.
Yep.
And I agree. It's going to hurt. I mean, unless the dude comes out and says he wants to retire at Spurs and that he'll just continue playing here as long as we'll offer him another year, that could be cool, I guess. And I could be okay with that. And him teaching the younger people and keeping man, people get so pissed off when you talk about vibes, Alan. But if you keep him around to keep the vibes good, to keep things positive, to keep players hungry, to keep, he's a big star. People do want to come play with Sonny, I think. I think that there's actually some draw. How people would want to come to teams to play with Kane and obviously Ronaldo or Messi, at Madrid or Barca. I think not Kane. God damn. I think that Sonny has a bit of that draw. I think that players do want to come play with Son. So he could continue to maybe help us draw in potential transfers. I don't know, man.
I kind of see, I kind of wish Romero was the captain and Sonny is a vice captain, because Sonny can be positive, but he doesn't have the passion that I would like out of the captain. Romero's got the passion that I want out of a captain. He walks up to the players, kind of shakes them. He's rough on them in practice because he wants them to be tough in the games. He is the captain material. I think Sonny's kind of like the vice captain, and people look at him, but I just don't see him as the talisman that we've made him out to be. He's a very good player, but I think that he is not someone that we should be shy away from selling. I'm in the same boat with Kulusevski. I think we should sell Kulusevski, to be honest.
I can see that. I can see that more than Son. I think Sonny's got more love for the badge and more love for Tottenham than any of our other players right now, and that's an important thing. You know what I mean? You got to remember that we let Sonny go to play with his country in the Asian Games, Olympics. Forgive me, can't remember. I think it was Asian Games, and they won gold medal, thus getting him exempt from his military service.
The Asian Games.
Yeah, his old team, Bayer Leverkusen, wouldn't let him do that. There was time for him to go to the Asian Games. He wasn't allowed to go. They got first place. He would have been exempt already. So Spurs letting him go to do that midseason effectively extended his career a lot, saved it, and I think that he feels a sense of I don't want to say like that he owes us anything exactly, but I think that he is appreciative and would stay here. Ryan is agreeing with Tony, but he can't see Spurs selling him. And then he says, "Oh my God, is that because you agreed with Tony? Is that what the oh my God was?" Boris is in the house saying, "I say he retires at Spurs and then just goes into the coaching staff or an ambassador role like Ledley King did, and so on."
He's gonna go. He's gonna. I mean, he does like Korean GQ, and he's I don't know that he would be an ambassador. I think he's got a whole other world open up to him. He might show up in movies. Who knows? He's huge in Korea. Huge.
That is very true. That's very, very true. apparently this is what the oh my god was for. Georgia had a 3-on-1 in the last second and blazed it over the bar. Sounds like nerves, man. That sounds about right. It's probably, I don't know much of the Georgia national team, but it sounds like probably somebody that doesn't have a ton of experience got the ball in a big game, big moment situation, and nerves got to them. Did you hear that noise I heard, Alan?
The noise in the background?
The noise in the background. Yeah, it looks like we've got somebody here. I don't want to tell everybody who it is, so I'm going to – let me see if I've got something I can use as an intro. I'm sure I do. It's not a very long one, but here we go. It's Jose! What's up, buddy?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you all?
Doing well, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I've been better. I woke up this morning. I've just got terrible throat, and I'm just taking some paracetamol. I'm gonna have an ice lolly now to just see if I can
do that lemon thing you taught me with the lemon and the lime and the.
Yeah, but I just don't fancy lemon at the moment.
I get it. But that trick did work. It did help me. So can't forget those cool Spanish holistic tips you've got. So Jose, were you watching the Georgia Czech Republic match by chance?
Yeah. I've just finished.
So Ryan, was it as bad as Ryan's saying here? The 3-on-1 in the last second that they blazed over.
Yeah. It was clear, they were clear on goal.
Jesus, no.
Clear on goal.
Nerves. So Jose, I don't know if you heard us talking, but Alan posed a question.
No,
you're good. Again, thank you for jumping in. So Alan's question has to do with Sonny's contract, and he posed a hypothetical. Would you sell Sonny now for $60 million, or would you extend his contract if you knew that he was going to leave on a free?
Makes no sense whatsoever to extend someone's contract if they're going to leave on a free.
But I guess what Alan was saying was get another season out of him, and then he leaves, or kind of like the Kane situation, or do we cash in on him now?
I personally have said for the last 2 years what I would do, and I got shot for it. So it's another time to get shot, I suppose.
Hey, you're not on your channel, so no one's gonna unsubscribe.
I would, if I had an offer. I mean, he's 31 now, son. If someone if the Saudis offered us 80 million for him, I'd take it.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely would as well.
As long as there's a caveat, as long as we invest it in a striker. There's no point getting rid of Son if you're not going to bring strikers in.
Oh hell no, yeah.
And if you get rid of Son, you're getting rid of someone that can play down the middle and someone that can play across the three. So basically, you either bring a player that can do that, or you're going to need two players, one to play as a 9 and one that can play out wide.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. We got to think though. I don't know. I guess part of it depends on how much the team sees in Manor Solomon. Or because he's a wide player that I don't really ever factor into our options because we've seen so little of him. You know what I mean? I don't know if the team sees him as like a legitimate option out there. And so so he's kind of an unknown that I feel like would be an extra wide, attacking player for us that could play across the front three as well. Probably not as a striker, but anyway, yeah, I agree. There would have to be at least 2 players signed to replace him, similar to Kane. You can't get all of that out of one player. But if
we're just one, depending on where you're playing Sonny, because they played him for how long down the middle, and if you replace him with like a Tony, I think that replaces him down the middle, just on the left hand side, because we got Werner, and I don't know that I want to see Werner starting every game.
Oh, and I don't want to see Werner starting many, if any, games if possible. You know what I mean? I think that Werner should be the substitute option or the second choice option for cup matches for you know what I mean, for things like that. That's where I think that we should be seeing him. I definitely think that if Sonny leaves, we need another player for the left, like a marquee type player. Except Eze plays on the left, right? So Boris here says it seems that we have just had reports out, and from what I've heard, Eze is a priority signing for the summer, just like Matters was last summer.
I think but for the Euros, we'd have already had this done. I think they just don't want to announce it because they don't want to overshadow the Euros. But we were talking about in the very beginning, Jose, that we thought that, at least I think that agents are very busy in the background right now while the players are at the Euros, and that business, I think once the Euros are over, we're going to see a lot of boom, 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 signing, because stuff was pretty much already done. What do you think about that? You think we'll see a lot of business done very quickly after the Euros?
In an ideal world, my thoughts are that the business has been done already from when the transfer window closed last summer. So we started putting together all our data into the system, and then identified players for every single position, because you didn't know how the season was going to pan out.
Yeah.
And then as the season's gone on, some of these positions become priority positions, because there's going to be some ins and some outgoings as well. So some become priority positions, and they would have had some sort of a semblance. I would have said probably by January, they would have thought he knows who he's going to keep, he knows he's going to push on and stuff, and he's not going to make the cut. And then from there, I would hope that they started already sounding out agents saying, your player fancy it? You know, in the background, if he does fancy it, then, you know, what would it take to what kind of wages was he looking at? And you do all your groundwork. So basically, what you're then doing is you're going in with an offer to the club you're buying from. You then go in with an offer, knowing that the player wants to go to you, and it makes the transfers far smoother. So for me, this work must have started. If it hasn't started, then we have no hope. None whatsoever.
Shit, it's that bad, huh?
Well, it is, because you can't go into summer transfer window and say, do you know what, we're going to wait for any bargain basement, or we're going to wait for appearances or things to come to fruition and chance and opportunity comes around. You can't do that in the summer transfer window. Chance and opportunity is the winter transfer window of players that you might think that you might want for the following summer that become available early. In the summer, you must have done your homework. Surely must have done your homework.
I would hope so as well. That's a good point. And, you know, with the dream team that we've got now of Longa, Paratici, Scott Munn, you know they were busy. They were definitely busy. If anything, if only just collecting data on players and, like you were saying, identifying targets. Alan, you think they were probably up to that, like Jose saying?
Oh yeah, I think in the background, because what else are they doing? You know, that they have nothing else to do but do that.
That is a solid point. That is their job. That is their one job.
That is their job. Yeah.
So,
hopefully they're doing their one job. Scott Munn, I mean, for a long time had nothing to do. So I'm hoping that maybe in the background he could have been orchestrating stuff,
getting a little black book together. You know.
Yeah. So and I'm hoping that's, as long as they're doing that, I guess I'm just as hopeful Levy doesn't interfere too much. I think that's why he has them in place, you know, and I think that's why he was so loyal to Paratici during his whole scandal issue. You know, Levy was very loyal to him, kept him on even though he wasn't technically supposed to be there. He kind of kept him on as a consultant instead of hiring him as our official guy.
He didn't have to do that. That's true.
He didn't have to do that. So I'm hopeful that by doing that, he's showing that he entrusts these people to do the job, and that they would have done it this summer, as Jose was saying.
Boom. So real quick, I'm going to change the subject super fast, and I'll go back. But I just wanted to say, in regards to the comment on the screen right now, Jose is at 493 on his subs count. 7 away from that mystical, magical 500. So if you're watching this either on Team Tottenham Go or on Talking Ball, please make sure that if you haven't, you've subbed over to El Cockerel, because he is a dope dude, and look how close he is to 500. And if anybody deserves it for the work they put in, it's Jose. And if you guys want our predictions game next season, we gotta hit the 500. So everybody, please do that.
I don't know what's better, hitting the 500, which is an achievement and a milestone in itself, or then having to do the predictions for a whole season.
You're like, oh my God, I could just not have to do them. Yeah.
You're like, forget it. I don't want it.
$4.99. That's good stuff. I also wanted to tell everybody, just a quick aside, my memberships thing for my channel is broken. So I'm working with YouTube right now, but currently the membership thing for my channel isn't working. So I've had to send them a message, and they're mailing me a piece of paper, and then I have to enter in a code. It's some stupid thing, but that'll be fixed soon. So if you got an email saying, "Oh, you're not a member anymore," or "There's problems with the membership," that is being worked out. That'll be fixed before you know it. So anyway, back to the actual football stuff. Boris is saying that it looks like Elise is going to Bayern. And I hadn't heard that until I saw someone else mention it in the chat.
Yeah, it broke yesterday.
That makes me truly happy. I'm just glad that he didn't get snapped up by like this was saying Chelsea or United. Big up Boris as well. Again, always good to have you here, brother.
I know Chelsea were the front runners for him initially. But Chelsea's. It seems like every time a player is wanted. It seems like every time a player is out there, immediately it's like, oh, Chelsea's interested. You know, I get sick of watching it. I almost don't believe it because I just don't trust it.
No, I get that. But I do think they were interested in Elise because he's just such a good player. You know, he's mustard. He's really, really, really good. Jose, while you're here, we have you. Had you heard anything about this Royale criminal investigation thing?
No.
So far, I've only seen like one outlet is really reporting it, and that the title might be making it seem worse than it is. But is it something that worries you in regards to us getting him out the door?
Nah.
Nice. Not a gambling issue or a domestic violence issue, so he's probably safe.
If Olise goes to Bayern, well, I have to hope that Eze comes to us before Olise goes there, because I know that Crystal Palace don't want to lose both players. I mean, there's a price tag on both of them, but if Olise does go to Bayern, who leaves Bayern? And would you pick up whoever leaves from Bayern? I would take almost anybody that comes from Bayern.
Bayern have made. We did a show not long ago, didn't we? About 3 weeks.
We talked
ago,
about that.
Where they said there was 6 players that Bayern were willing to listen to offers for. They're not going to be cheap, to be honest. The players that they've got on offer are, for me, very, very good players, and they won't be cheap. So
Coman, right? Kingsley Coman, one of them.
Joshua
Kimmich, the boy in midfield, the midfielder they got. De Ligt.
Ligt in the centre back.
The one, the number 8 for him, and I can't remember his name now. So me. I think he's a good player. It's quite a tall, elegant footballer. Number 8 plays. But Coman, Gnabry.
He tore us apart. He definitely made us look like fools that one time. So
he gets injured though, Gnabry.
True, very true. I remember that from his Arsenal days. Boris has a good question here, you guys. He says
Goretzka.
Leon Goretzka. That is what. Yep, absolutely. Forgot about him.
That's the one.
Boris is saying though, what loophole have Villa found since they magically found one to pay £37.5 million for Ian Maatsen from the Chelsea left back? Two of the main teams with FFP issues. I'm concerned.
Didn't they do something with their hotels and the ladies' team?
Honestly, I don't.
On this, I'm giving up now, because I said it on the show that I did the other night, and I give up on this totally, because the rules are there. They were brought in to catch people out, and it's whoopee-doo that Everton and Forest admitted their guilt before they were found out, and they're the ones that have been penalised. Everybody else has gone about their business and done what they want to do. Now, it's one of two things. Either the clubs have got very, very good accountants, very creative accountants, or the Premiership have really shitty investigators.
Probably a bit of both.
All of a sudden, everyone's doing what they want, and we're in the winter transfer window. We were saying that we were in prime pole position for this, that, and everything, and we didn't press the button on anything. We just brought in Dragusin, and we thought to ourselves, let's wait till the summer. Well, wait till the summer. The only thing I can say is, with a lot of these stories, I haven't seen other clubs go and buying players willy-nilly, but Aston Villa finding £37.5 million if they're one of the teams that were confirmed to be in trouble, because there were 6 that were announced on the BBC about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Villa were one of the 6, and so were Chelsea. And all of a sudden, Villa have done a deal already. They've got rid of
Douglas Luiz.
Brugenham is a youngster. They let him go to Everton, and from Everton they're getting Lewis Dobbin. So to me, that's a like for like. So not much money's changing hands there at all. It's a like for like. It's a possibility that can get done. 37.5 million for Ian Maatsen. It doesn't matter whether you monetize this over 5 years or not. It's still a spend.
And does that then help Chelsea too? Does it not only kind of screw us because one of the teams that we thought were going to be hamstrung are, I guess, not, but now they're also paying 40 million to a team that is in trouble.
Yeah, but it's not pure profit. Where these teams have to balance the books, they would rather get rid of a homegrown player because it's pure profit back into the bottom line, and that's what helps them. The Ian Maatsen deal,
or an Oliver Skip.
Maatsen came from abroad to Chelsea as a youngster. He's still a youngster now, but he came through a few years ago, I believe. I believe he might have even come from a Dutch club, but he came through, and Chelsea brought him into their academy, and now they're selling him on. But he doesn't give you the pure profit, I don't believe. Unless someone can correct me, he doesn't give you the pure profit.
I watched Maatsen in the Champions League final. Because he plays for Dortmund, right?
Yes, if he's on loan at Dortmund, yes.
I wasn't super impressed with him in the game against Real Madrid. I mean, I don't know if it's fair because Real Madrid can make anybody look bad, but he didn't look super strong. And if I remember correctly, he even gave away one that gave Real a goal. So I don't know how bad I feel about this. I just don't like the idea of Chelsea doing business when they really shouldn't be doing business.
Well, I don't like Aston Villa doing business when they shouldn't, and then Chelsea getting any kind of money, because I can't think that they would have paid a fee too incredibly high for Maatsen to begin with if he just came from the Dutch league. I could be wrong. Some players from the Dutch league do cost a lot, but not defenders usually. But yeah, interesting. I see that he came from PSV, but I can't find what the fee was from PSV to Chelsea.
It wouldn't have been much because he came through as a youngster, if I remember rightly.
See, so I can even tell you what year. It looks like that happened, and never mind, I give up. But 2002? No way. Yeah, he must. No way. That must have been when he was born. Anyway.
Yeah. He's young. He's 21. Yeah. He's young.
Wow. Well, interesting, and that is worrying, Boris. I'm worried as well. Dekaru, though, I got to get through some of these. Dekaru was saying that when it comes to signings, you must be proactive. If you just wait, then you just get the dregs from the other teams, which we've seen in the past. Spurs fans are all too familiar with that.
I do think it's just the Euros that are holding things up. I think I am very hopeful that we will see rapid fire and successive signings right after the Euros, because I think they just don't want to be like Eze, for example. It seems like he wants to concentrate on the Euros and stuff, and he doesn't want to make a quote unquote decision, even if he's already made a decision. I think it's easier for them to deal with PR and all that stuff after the Euros.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, to the end of the day, though, Alan and Colin, there are plenty of players, that we're being linked with since the beginning of April. There are plenty of players that are not playing in either the European Championships or the Copa America.
Yeah.
So, that being the case, if there are other players that we're looking at that are not at these competitions, then you could argue, if you want to drive yourself mad, should I say, not argue, but if you want to drive yourself mad, you think to yourself, well, why aren't deals being done, that way? Unless they're represented by a certain group of agents that are all at these tournaments. But an agent always has his phone beside him.
Yep.
So agents can talk for the world, can't they? They just don't stop talking. So there's no reason why they can't do things over the phone. You have Teams, you have Google Meets. There's lots of different ways to speak to people and see people on the camera.
Yeah.
Hell, they could start their own YouTube channel and then have a StreamYard in the background where they can meet offline. There's lots of different ways of doing it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And you were talking about agents talking. I just wanted to get this comment from Adrian up. He said the good thing about the CAA-based agency is, and other agencies, is that they keep their mouth shut, unlike single agents like Dragishans.
Oh,
I brought that up because Jose was mentioning that agents can talk and talk and talk, and they're doing it. I do like the professionalism around these agencies, and that they seem, not to be. I don't want to say like that the single agents seem like they're like pimping their players out, but that's what it kind of seems like. It's like a pimp type scenario.
I think with regards to Dragishin's agent, I don't think his agent was ever happy that he came to Tottenham. I think it was Dragishin that wanted to come to Tottenham. I think Dragishin's agent wanted him to go to like Bayern, and I think he ever since is going to take any chance he can to slag off and cause problems. But that's
that he got less of a payment. I'm sure that his portion of his fee or whatever was less when Dragishin chose Spurs over Bayern, which obviously would be annoying. Everybody loves money.
Yeah.
And when you think you're going to get 100,000 and you get 50, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Right. So I get it. Daniel, I thought Jose would like this. Daniel's asking what sort of fraud Emerson is getting done for. Is it pretending to be a Brazilian? I like that. Jose always wants to check his passport, make sure he's really Brazilian.
I think the start of your show, I think you covered Emerson, didn't you? In the start of the show, or at least I saw some comments about Emerson at the start of the show.
Yeah, I put this here. Who's taking Emerson? Someone, please take Emerson.
So with Emerson, the one good thing is that there are people wanting Emerson.
Yes.
So that part's the good thing, right? But again, like with all the other players that you want to bring in, or players that you want to release, and it's not only Tottenham, it's many, many clubs. No one's doing any business at the moment. However, I feel that once business starts for any clubs, then the domino effect will take place. And you'll quickly see that the chips will lay where they may straight after. So you need just the one thing to happen, and it will trigger a whole load of other occurrences.
Right, like Emerson will get purchased, and then we'll need a right back, and we'll purchase one, and that'll start.
Yeah, that's one way. That's one way.
A chain reaction.
It'll be a cascade.
Yeah, or one player leaves, and then all of a sudden a lot of other players start leaving, and a lot of other players start coming. You need one to start the domino effect, and it will kick off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Someone please kick those dominoes over. And here's another Adrian comment. Big up, Adrian. Thank you for being here, man. You're a busy dude. I appreciate you being here for our show. He says the Spurs recruitment team will have been working behind the scenes, as will Paratici, and both will love the false transfer claims by the media that deflects attention away from genuine interest in players. It's a very good point.
John Clare Todibo and Raya from last season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we know, I mean, it was Paratici had a reputation before even coming to us of having like 5 players that he seems like he's going for one position at once, but not really going for all 5, you know what I mean? But just kind of having all 5 on the line and ready, but then only, choosing the one that best fits. And I think that also helps with negotiations, because players know that they're not the only one we're looking at. Agents know that we have other players kind of in mind as well. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. And big up, Adrian. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Love it.
Oh yeah. So one
shout out to Spurs diehards TTID.
Yeah, everybody get over there and subscribe. Their subscriber count is high. Let's get even higher. They're putting in the work. Big love to those guys. Yep. Ellie and Adrian, and who else is on there?
Mark Cousins.
Wow, Mark Cousins is a freaking fountain of knowledge. I love that.
Soren.
Damn, they got a dream team over there. Wow, nice. Well, good stuff. Back to the Chelsea thing. Boris heard that Todd Bowley bought 2 hotels and is considering using his business to buy the training ground too.
Yeah.
And then Polio was saying that there were some loopholes that the Premier League left open that Chavsky have taken advantage of. Polio is confirming they sold their training ground to one of their own companies and got away with it. That's some shady stuff. But why am I not surprised, right? Chelsea, a lot of money going around.
It makes the Premier League look toothless. I think Jose was kind of referring to that. the two teams that actually had to come out and admit guilt are the ones that got penalized.
Because they didn't have to do any of the investigation. Like Jose said, the evidence was there. They presented it for them, you know?
Exactly. And
but the thing
you
is,
can't...
Chelsea. Sorry, Alan. With Chelsea as well, though. When the Bowley and his mob came in to buy Chelsea, they turned around and they said, "Okay, we've looked at the books when we were buying the club, and things aren't right. There's, but we're going to admit that now things aren't right. So you've admitted that the books aren't right. So what's happening about it?"
Right.
Because you're now saying stuff happened, but it was before our watch. But regardless whether it's before your watch or not, it's happened. End of story. It's happened. So therefore, because it's happened, you need to investigate it. Not investigate Wolves. Not investigate Nottingham Forest and Everton because they've admitted their guilt. At the end of the day, I just think that this PSI rules were brought in, and people aren't backing up what they were brought in for, because now, supposedly, the rules change for next season.
Really? In what way?
They're going. I think the clubs all voted, didn't they, in the last AGM, to go down the route of the same as UEFA. So 80%, you can only spend 80% or up to 80% of I don't know, your income, your net income, stuff like that. It's another calculation that's been brought in, and it just means that people will all end up. Supposedly, you all end up playing on a level playing field, but you don't, because someone like Tottenham, their income would be X and X amount because of the stadium you've got and everything that they're doing. Now, someone like Wolves, no disrespect to Wolves, so please don't shoot me, Ryan, but Wolves, the money that Wolves bring in will be nowhere near what Tottenham bring in. But yet, you can only spend like 80% of it or something like that. But yeah, the rules are changing again. So, at the end of the day, it's exactly what you got on the screen.
It is.
PSI, whatever they call it, is all crap because they're changing the rules on it again. And the thing is, the rules seem to change here in England. England seem to change the rules all the time. I don't hear Spain changing rules. I don't hear the Germans changing rules or the Italians changing rules. But here, we seem to change rules all the time.
And not enforce the ones that are there in the first place. But yeah. Hey, so Tony had to go. He said to all of us, thanks for the show and enjoy the rest of our days. You enjoy yours, buddy.
Cheers, Tony. Thank you very much,
Thanks for being here, my man. Appreciate you. And then we got somebody I've never seen in the chat, Mikey Romero. What is up, Mikey?
Hi, Mikey.
First of all, wanted to say hey to Mikey. And then also, he's got a question here for us, and I think it's a good one. If Bayern get Elise signed before the end of the Euros, does that affect our chances of signing Eze?
No.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Because Crystal Palace don't want to lose both players in one window. But there is a price tag on them, and there's a price tag. If you're going to slap a price tag on a player, it means that in some way you're willing to lose them, for that amount of money. And there's a price tag on Elise. There's a price tag on Eze, and I think we're going to meet that price tag, and because it's a release clause, right? So they're not going to have a choice, regardless, if we meet that release clause. So
if there is indeed one there, I always am wary about release clauses. I don't know why. I just feel like it wouldn't be in anybody's benefit for us to know about it. Like they would probably try to keep. I don't know. But yeah,
they didn't advertise it.
That's true. Some journalist broke it or something. So yeah, if we do meet that release clause, I guess that we're allowed to then negotiate with the player. And the question is Levy going to straight up pay a release clause? Doesn't happen super often. I don't know. I wonder. So I had this typed up before the show started. Like, will this take the entire window? Have we waited too long and invited other teams and inadvertently caused a potential bidding war? I don't know. I'd pose that to you. Do you think that we should have already wrapped this up, or was it impossible to wrap up at this point?
I think they've already probably. Eze probably has agreed personal terms with at least one team. and I think that those things are already probably done in the background. And meeting the release, and if that happens, I think meeting the release clause is a foregone conclusion. They'll do that because if they've already negotiated what his salary is going to be, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, and Boris says here, the fact that the matter is that Eze has a release clause, and unless Eze turns us down once the clause is activated, then we couldn't do anything. But if he turns us down, but yeah, we do have the opportunity to meet and negotiate with the player as long as we beat that release clause.
Yeah, and I think they plan on making him the marquee signing of the window.
Before I comment on it, can I just bring this up again? Someone has subbed over to me, so I'm now 494, so I'm 6 away.
Hell yes!
Please,
nice.
If you can help me out, I only need 6. So come over and sub to me at Hotel Cockerel. It'd mean the world to me, and it means that I get the monkey off my back, and the cockerel will shine brightly.
I love it.
I get the monkey off the back, and the cockerel shine brightly.
Beautiful. Yeah, everybody wants that. And guys, come on, seriously, if you're here, and I have seen some new names. If you're here and you haven't subbed to Jose, please do so. We would appreciate it. And at the link there, youtube.com/at
Boris has just said further down that he's just subbed. I had to drop a sub to Jose. There you go. Is this not the Boris that used to come in before?
Boris Britt? I don't think it's the same. I think it's
a different Boris. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Boris, just to let you know that if I do get to the 500, which I hope I will get there now, I will run a predictions league, which you might enjoy joining in. It will start obviously when the season starts, and it's a lot of fun.
He says he's the same Boris. Boris, I apologize. Your name had changed.
Boris Britt is the same Boris. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Can I also drop my link in?
Yeah.
I would love it if Boris could.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Boris, you entered the predictions at a stage, and I think you did a week or two, and then you didn't appear again. But Boris, just to let you know, we started off with 19 people. We just started with 18 people, and we ended up the season with having 119 people playing the game. So
crazy,
it was absolute fun doing it. But yeah, if I get to the 500, then I will definitely be running it again this season.
Mikey said that he subbed over to you, and that he's glad he's found us. Hey man, Mikey, I'm really glad that you found us as well, buddy.
Sub over to you. I found you guys to United Spurs.
From United Spurs of America.
Yeah, from Jacob's channel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. me, Colin and I don't know whether you are, Alan, as well, but Colin and I are 2 of the mods on that channel.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I love United Spurs of America.
Yeah, and you've got Ilmatic is here. I don't know whether he wants to come over. But are you putting Alan's, or shall I put it in?
Oh, I can do it. I got you.
Put in Alan's in the chat as well. Right. So with the Eze thing,
how do I do the link?
Oh, I got you. I'll put it in there for you.
You just type it out and then throw it in at the bottom. You just put it in as a comment and it comes up.
Watch this. Just like this. Blam. And blah. There you go. Team Tottenham go right there, everybody. Please make sure you get over there. Subscribe. Slap a like on an old video. Comment on something. It all helps. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
We are all
4 away now. Right. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Eze. So, to me, it doesn't matter what club you are, right? To me, there's always a price on a player, and there's always a price that will be acceptable to a club. I suppose the difference this time round with Crystal Palace is that I don't think they'd want to lose their players, right, or sell their players, but you've got a new manager, so you've got Glasner there now, and with Glasner there, Glasner will bring in his new ideas. He started a new formation. He's got a new system. He's got his own ideas of who he wants at the club and all that. And if Crystal Palace really want to give him a good go at it, then Crystal Palace are going to have to back him. Now, Crystal Palace are not in trouble, right? They're not in trouble, and Crystal Palace are in quite a fortunate position. You can't banter or go in and try and lower prices with Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace are not in a position, they're holding all the aces basically. Palace are in a good position, and at the end of the day, if you want their player, you're going to have to meet their cost and their price, whatever it may be. So with Elise, they're saying that Bayern are getting Elise for 55 million. All right. Now, with Eze, the talk is that his release clause is 60 plus 8 million in add-ons. But the talk is also that Crystal Palace want 50 million up front. Yeah. So there's no like other deals where you can pay it and monetize it over. If you bought a player in on 5 years and he costs 60 million, that means you're paying that club probably 12.5 million a season.
Yep.
Right, over 5 years. But Crystal Palace has said quite clearly, it's quite clear that they want 50 million of that 60 up front. So you can't go in and say, we'll give you 40, we'll give you 30. No, they've made it clear they want 50 million up front. Now, Tottenham supposed transfer budget from people that think they know it and that are saying it's probably 120 to 130 million. If you're spending 50 million straight away out of that money, that's a big chunk of your money gone on one player. You then have to hope that for all the other players that you go for, you can then monetize it and pay like you would do normally over 5 years and that to bring other players in. Otherwise, it's a big chunk of money to pay. I watched Eze for England.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, does he improve Tottenham? I did. I thought to myself, does he improve Tottenham? Is he the type of player that we need? You know.
Well, he's playing Southgate ball. I mean, is it fair to hold it against him that he's playing a Southgate ball?
I would tend to agree with Alan there. It's just I feel like the system that he plays, the way that he instructs his players to go out there, effectively hamstrings them and makes them less effective than they would be had they not had any instructions at all.
So what I'll say to you then, right? And I'm playing devils here because I like Elise. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to start thinking Jose hates Elise, Eze, because I don't. I like Eze, right? But I'm just thinking to myself, when the going gets tough in a game, right? Or when you have to do your backtracking, or when you have to do your defending and that, because let's face it, although Tottenham do attack, people attack us a lot as well, or have been this season. We've conceded a fair few goals, so we know we've been attacked. We keep moaning and bemoaning the fact that we haven't got midfield, and it seems to be we've only got 2 at the back, and we keep moaning about that. So is bringing in a player like Eze the right thing to balance for your team? Because will he do the tracking back? Will he do the defending? Because that's been our Achilles heel. It's not been the attacking, regardless of what people may or may not say. We scored more goals this season than what we did last season. We probably attacked and had more chances this season than last season as well. So attacking wise, although we're saying that we haven't got the perfect 3 or we haven't got the perfect teams and we haven't played perfectly, we still attack. It's our defence. And I'm just thinking, so bringing these players in, where's your defensive part? I'm just throwing it out there. I love Eze. Don't get me wrong. I'm an Eze fan, but I'm just throwing it out there. That's all.
Yeah, I think that we definitely. Me too. And I think we're going to go after a midfielder. I think that's going to fit that more defensive, role that's going to have. But sorry, Alan, you were saying that you think Elise fits. You think he's got the physicality and the tracking back and everything necessary.
Well, to address the price, I mean that. It's what'd you say, like 120, but that's before selling. I feel like we need to be motivated to sell. And if we could get, and we were saying this earlier in the show, that on average, about 10 million pounds per player. Again, some a little less, some a little more. But if we can get 10 players out, that's another 100 million pounds to add. So it kind of softens that blow of Eze, who again I do think would be the talisman signing for this window because so many teams want him. I think he's young enough and hungry enough that he would do whatever Ange needs, because I think he fits Ange's style from what I've seen of him.
I'm watching a compilation video right now. Of course, it's not showing his tracking back, but he's such a good player. And
it does motivate us to get like a Calafiori, to someone in defense. It would be motivating, I think. To
Calafiori would be a dream. That would be an absolute dream. I would be so happy if we got Eze, Calafiori, and a striker. I might just die. You might just have to bury me. I'd be so happy. Yeah, Calafiori's the tits, man. He's the real deal. But
yeah.
Look at Mickey's comment here. Mikey's comment. I like his name, Mikey Romero. And
yeah.
reading where he's from as well, it just sounds about right, doesn't it?
It does.
New Jersey, Mikey Romero.
I wish I could do that accent, but I'm terrible. Yeah, he's up to us all. We appreciate you, Mikey. You're a good dude.
The fantastic thing is North American like yourselves, and he's saying that being from New Jersey, it's tough to find Spurs fans near him. Well, Mikey, too, man. There's a whole world of Spurs fans and channels, and there's quite a few North American players in the market as well when it comes to YouTube Tottenham channels. So you'll be spoilt, Mikey.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if you ever would like to come on the show, let me know. I think that'd be awesome.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, dude. I'm on Twitter. I'll put my Twitter handle in here so you can get me if you want. And yeah, man, hit me up on the old Twitter. We got some comments to get through. Holy smokes, they've come through. Some stuff talking about how Eze's release clause is real specific. Paul O'Keefe says that there's like caveat after caveat, condition after condition. Sort of like, and then he says it's sort of like Elise's clause, where he could only be triggered by a Champions League qualifying club. Non-qualifying clubs would have had to pay more. Interesting. And then
we're lucky that we have someone like Levy, who as an accountant can navigate those complicated contract requirements and whatnot. And I think that's why we haven't heard the here we go yet for Eze, is because of those complications. But it's still, they're complications, but they're not impossible to overcome.
Yeah, there's maybe like a stumbling block, but not something that we can't climb over in essence. Sweet. And Brian G's pointing out what we were trying to tell you, Jose. Every player plays crap for England. And David Clark comes in and says, please don't look at Eze on seeing him with Southgate ball. In the Premier League football, Eze will be devastating. And then he asks that we're questioning his off the ball ability when we have Johnson, Son, and Werner. Really? I can't really compare him that much. I mean, I'm just wondering.
But I said all of them. I said all of them, didn't I? I did say in my comment, David Clark. So listen, ears are important things. Listen to what I said. I said everybody that we've had is not defensive. They don't come back, they don't track back, they don't defend and stuff. So looking to buy attacking players again, should we not be looking at players that can defend as well? Is all I said. I called everyone in the team, not by name, but I said the whole team.
Yeah.
Attacks, but defensively we get caught out because we haven't got people that track back and defend. And I threw it as devil's advocate because I do like Eze.
Absolutely.
So let's make that clear. I do like Eze.
Jose hates Eze. I'm gonna get this going. I'm gonna get this false narrative. Yes, like Ellie loves Højbjerg. You're gonna hate Eze. So Mikey's got a question for us. Asks who will be the solidified 6 next season, and that's tough because what everyone will tell you, Mikey, is that Ange doesn't play with the 6; that he plays with 2 8s and a 10. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I think it was said once, and then everybody kind of picked up on it and has repeated it, myself included. I think if he had a number 6 that had the skill set he was looking for, I think he'd play him. You know what I mean? What's the difference really between? I don't know. I think when you get like numbers of positions involved, I think stuff gets murky because like, well, is he a ball playing 6? Is he a, you know what I mean? Is he a defensive 8? Is he what's at the end of the day? Is there that much difference? So, but to answer your question, I think a lot of people have hope. And I don't know if it's going to come through, but that Bergvall is going to be, starting for us in the midfield next season, or at least come the end of next season.
Do you think he'll start? I remember we did that watch along, and he looked the opposite of stellar.
Yeah, but we have to remember he was coming to Tottenham after that match. You know what I mean? Like that was the one match he had left. What would have? I mean, imagine he gets injured or something in that match. So it did look like he wasn't trying very hard, but my head wouldn't have been in that game either, to be honest, because, you know what I mean? He had to protect himself. He had to make sure that, he's an asset. I'm sort of surprised that he played. But yeah, I don't know. Jose, do you have any insight onto who you think might be our solidified 6 or just one of the, the more defensive midfielder for us next season?
if things are going to work out for Tottenham Hotspur next season, right? Stop looking at names, right? And we need to stop looking at that. Stop looking at names, and you identify players they identify and they bring in players that can play the system that Postecoglou wants to play. Now, we got a lot of hate last year from a lot of people, or I did, because I defended Postecoglou. And I will continue to defend Postecoglou. At the end of the day, I can see it for what it is. He didn't have his players, and he played with what he had. That hand that he was dealt with, he had it for the season, he played with it. We've got an opportunity now to move players on that do not fit the system, that won't be in the squad next year, and we've got an opportunity to bring players in. But the players we bring in don't have to be names, don't have to be, come with entourages with them and stuff like that. You just want players that will play the system. If you play the system the way he needs it played and the way he wants it played with the right people, then you're not going to get found out defensively, in transition, when the ball's high up the other end of the pitch and 2 balls and they're in our box. That won't happen if you've got the right type of players. So if he says he doesn't need a 6, then I go with he doesn't need a 6. At the end of the day, you just got to get the right players in. And that's what I'm hoping that will happen. At the moment, you're asking me the question at the moment, and I think to myself, what are we, June the 22nd? And I said that I'd make my decision by the 2nd of September when the transfer window closed. The 2nd of September, guys, feels such a long way away for me at the moment. A long, long, long way away.
It does.
A lot can happen between now and then. And I'm hoping, as you two gentlemen, and as probably everybody in the chat, and every Tottenham Hotspur supporter worldwide, we're hoping that the right things happen. And all we need to do is add the sauce to it, and we're cooking for next year.
Mhm.
Boom, boom. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I don't know, all signs kind of point to that. I like what we were able to do with a makeshift squad. And I think, adding a couple more pieces that the manager wants is obviously going to improve things and have us playing more in his image, so to speak, the way he wants. And I'm really excited to see it. Some more comments in here, real quick. Fabrizio Romano has said for Elise that it was a 45 million fixed fee with 5 in add-ons, a lot cheaper than what was originally reported. Hopefully the same is true for Eze.
It could be because again it went to a Champions League team.
Yeah, that could be, absolutely.
But I don't think Eze's. I think Elise's had Champions League team involved in this one. I don't think Eze's has, from what I've heard, from the supposed in the know people. It's a straight 60 million, but 50 that has to be up front, and 8 million add-ons. They don't care whether you play in the 3rd division, you're in the Conference League, you're playing in a Farmers Cup. They don't care where you come from as long as you pay.
You got the money. Yeah,
you got the Wonga.
Show me the money.
Show me the yayo. You got the yayo. We're there.
Yeah, I love it. Brian wants to know if we're going to watch Turkey-Portugal and what our score prediction is. I probably will watch. That's in like 13 minutes, isn't it? I think Turkey's surprising. I think Turkey gets a 1-0 victory. Is what I have to say.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't know, man.
I'm loving it, Colin. I'm loving it. All these anti-pork and cheese people. I'm loving it. Come on, Turkey.
They're gonna do it. It'll be a surprise. Maybe a little bit of smash and grab, and I'm gonna love every second of it. And guys, make sure that you are watching out for Alan on Twitter. There's his link right there, Team Tottenham Go, and that link I think will actually take you right to him. So make sure that you have followed him on Twitter. And I refuse to call it X. I don't know why. It's Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter.
The interesting thing about Turkey is...
Or shitter, as Jose calls it.
Yeah, shitter. Arda Güler, the 19-year-old who scored the goal the other day, who plays for Real Madrid, he's been dropped to the subs bench today.
Interesting. Huh. I wonder if there's an injury or like a knock or something.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the lineups now, and he's on the subs bench. And I think it is Portugal have made changes because João Paulinho is now starting. He didn't start the other night. And Nuno Mendes is starting, and he didn't start the other night either. So they must have replaced. I think Diego Dalot started the other day, and I'm trying to see who would have started it around in the midfield. But there's another player that's definitely out of the team as well. But yeah,
I think Portugal are a better team on paper, but it's tournament football, and you know what I mean. You never know what's going to happen, and I feel like the Portuguese national team, I don't know, doesn't really play to the level that I think that they've got players wise, sort of like England, and I think Turkey might be, the team that just shows up, plays harder, and
tonight's game will be interesting as well, because the game after this is Romania versus Belgium.
Oh, nice.
And Belgium lost their first game 1-0.
They did.
And Belgium are the hot favourites for the group.
Yeah, they're going to be gunning. They're going to be playing hard.
And Romania came in and won 3-0. And Romania came, I think it was 3-0 that Romania won in the end of the day. And yeah, Romania smashed it.
So they're on a high.
They're a hard-working team. The Romanians, I won't say are the best, but they're a hard-working team.
Sometimes those are the hardest teams to beat.
When Turkey played Georgia the other night, though, Turkey were a hard-working team in that game as well, and they're going to have to work ultra hard against Portugal tonight as well.
Yeah,
but
I admire that type of football, though, in a way.
But the one thing is, I mean, I don't know if Germany's hot again, because it's been like kind of mixed. It's been really boiling hot there, and then you've had monsoon weather as well. If it is hot, then it'd be interesting, because Turkey could put up with the heat.
That's true.
So it makes it interesting. It makes it kind of a level. I know Portugal's hot as well for heat, but Turkey get unbelievable heat waves in Turkey, because it's not far from Greece, so they get like 44 degrees and shit like that. Well, which is, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but I know it's a big one in America. 44 degrees is a big one in Fahrenheit in America. So
111, Jesus, man.
Yeah, so they're getting weather like that.
Yeah, man. So that could be a leveler for Turkey. I hope so. I hope we see a good match. That's for sure. But
Ange Ilmatic just said, look, Ange is on ITV tonight because he's part of the panel for the European Championships. I've not seen him as yet. I knew he was going to be part of the panel, but he's doing the Belgium-Romania clash tonight.
Hell yes, nice, dude. I'll absolutely have to catch that then. Nice. Ilmatic, thanks for letting us know.
Thank you, Ilmatic. Yeah, thank you very much.
He also points out that Ian Matson to Aston Villa for 37 mil, and Omari Kellyman to Chelsea for 19 mil. Money laundering in plain sight. Yeah, man, we already hit on that. It looks like the old PSR FFP stuff is all for show.
Yep.
We'll see how that all plays out throughout the summer. But yeah, I might have looked at that as well, man. What do we got? Oh, and then earlier there was a comment. So you were talking about, should we be getting players that are like defensively sound instead of attacking players? David Clark says, no, he says, no, we shouldn't. We need players who will open up games and not players who will send us to sleep.
Right. Can I just say, Chiesa is gaining traction.
Yeah, that was his last one.
Saying that Tottenham have jumped in front of Newcastle for Chiesa. But today's reports are now saying, and I've seen it on other Newcastle channels as well, Newcastle are going in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, nice. That would be good for them.
Okay, but if they buy them, what striker's going? Is it going to be Callum Wilson or is it Isak?
It would have to be Callum Wilson, right? I mean, if they're serious about being contenders and contending for things and growing that team into something,
but we've been told that Newcastle have to sell as well. So it's just weird that, well, it's not weird, but it's wonderful, because remember what I was talking about the domino effect earlier?
Yeah.
Right? It's just weird because now you've got Newcastle linked with Calvert-Lewin, which means that happens and something else has got to happen. Do you see what I mean? So the domino effects start. So, yeah, be interesting.
It surely will be. What did you think about this one, though, that we shouldn't go for defensive players? We need ones that will open the games up and not put us to sleep. And then I saw, but under Ange's system, our two inverted fullbacks just aren't good enough to play that. What is a midfield role? Not creative enough and don't help Maddison to create chances. David, I don't think you were here, and I know it's never going to happen, but Archie Gray at inverted fullback would be the tits. That would be lovely. That would be a wonderful thing. He would be the perfect player on the right. But yeah,
so the rumor is on that one, how you can believe whatever you want, but the rumor is on that one that they're offering Skip and Rodon for Archie and some money for Archie Gray.
Yep.
Which I think is absolutely madness, because the money that Wharton was sold for Blackburn to Crystal Palace, only 20 million, right? And then you're going to tell me that Archie Gray's worth more than Wharton. and Wharton's now an England international, and Wharton came in and bossed it for 6 months in the Premiership. Do you know what I mean? To me, the prices are just not comparable. But
so we were saying
a club will have a value for their player, right? So you'll have a club, selling club will have their own value, and the buying club will have their value. And somewhere along the lines, you're going to have to meet to agree a deal. But I do not see Archie Gray as a £50 million player. I don't think anyone that plays in the Championship is a £50 million player.
No, we were talking about this earlier. That I think they said as high as 80 million. In fact, which was basically it was just like, they were basically telling clubs to F off. Yeah, that's really what they were trying to do. They were putting up a big wall, paywall, but I think it makes it interesting selling, to sell. I just don't want to have happen what we did with Lamella. I don't want to see a couple players go and we get a player and then they underperform. But I don't think Archie Gray is Brian Hill. I
not at all. Yeah, no, not even close. My only worry is that
come on, Turkey. Come on, Turkey. Come on, Turkey, Shemtam.
But and another thing too that worries me is that he's so Leeds through and through. Like, isn't he the third generation Leeds player? Like, I think his dad and granddad.
Yeah, his dad, his uncles, and
so that's kind of worrying. I think we might have had a better chance of getting him if they came up to the Premier League, to be honest, because he would have wanted to, maybe felt like it was time to go, like he did what he was supposed to do. But
he's brilliant, Dragon D's. Nice. Look, Calvert-Lewin would just be something for the medical team to play with.
keep those guys busy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go on, just for fantastic.
That's
and then
right.
you've got the very next comment from Kev G, and Kev says, what does Kev say? It's a fantastic comment as well. So many Fleetwood Macs out there. I'll believe it when we sign someone. Great. Spot on, Kev G. And this is exactly what I said. There's so much been going on since the beginning of April. And as long as you remain calm and sane, then this won't affect anybody. Because what will happen will happen. You just got to let nature take its course.
Man, you see people on Twitter just go absolutely apeshit when a rumor comes out or something happens that they don't like. Literally, just losing their minds. I don't have it in me to do it. I mean, I'm just tired. It depresses me. You know what I mean? To see people just absolutely losing their shit at certain links. I mean, for a while it was the the fact that we had re-signed. German guy. Names are hard for me sometimes. Werner made everybody absolutely lose their minds, and then just links to players, and I don't know. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Like you were saying, Jose, it's absolutely not the end of everything, like some people are saying. I saw another comment in here though.
I've just put it up again because I'm now 3 away. I'm on 4.
Holy shit!
So
see, come to Talking Ball. Come to Talking Ball. We'll get you some subs.
Well, no, but what I've done is I've had to switch my phone off because it got hot as well, and that's not because of me typing away, but it got hot because of the heat, and I've had to switch it off to let it cool down. But I've sent out so many messages to friends and said, look, even if you don't want to watch it, just subscribe. I just need to get 500. Just subscribe. So I don't know if it's people from this show. I don't know whether it's people that I've also got that I've messaged that have said they'll come back to me. But I'm hoping if things go well that I hit the 500 today.
Hey, come on, guys.
I'm hoping.
Let's
so
help.
If you haven't done so already, come over and give me some love. I'm 3 away.
If you have, thank you. If you have already,
it's always going to be thank you, and you will enjoy seeing more of me if I do get to 500.
I like the cough came at the worst time.
No, at the best time. That was
no, it's not meant. It's not meant.
You're punctuating it. If I get to 500, but yeah. So
well, we want to do that. The play the game again next season.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody. That's where it's coming in from. Everybody wanting to play. So Boris put this in earlier, and I didn't bring it up, and I meant to, and I'm really glad I remember. He said, "Thing is, everyone seems to forget that Levy has given a check of $200 million before player sales to Ange and Longa."
Did he?
If that's a true statement.
People said that we had 150 to 200 million to spend, and that was 2 months ago. Right, but listen, the way that things are happening at the moment, which I said seem to be willy-nilly for all the clubs, you don't know where you're going to be and where you're not going to be, because some of the mathematicians have worked out under PSR by doing the calculations what kind of we'll have, and some people have come out with, I can't remember, it was 127 million or 137 million is what would be able to buy. What I don't understand, or is the budget would have. What I don't understand, and I did ask Adrian this, and I still haven't got down to the bottom of this, is the money that you have to spend is basically the money from last year up until the books closed on the 30th of June last year. So, so they're the finances that you're playing with this year. Mm-hmm. So my question was, so if we sell players this year, does that count towards the budget for this year? Or do the books need to close by the 30th of June? Because if they have to close by the 30th of June, then we will have that budget for next year, which means we can start buying players on the 1st of July with the budget that we've got for this year, rather than the budget we've got for last year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And then the budget for this year will include the Kane sale, because Kane was sold in August. So therefore, the end of the financial
and it wasn't on the financials this last.
No, it wouldn't have been the last ones. It will be on this year's financials up until the 30th of June. So someone like Davinson Sanchez, you've got all the wages to come off from Dyer, Lloris, Perisic, Endon Bailey. You've got all that to come off, and that comes off by the 30th of June, which is only tomorrow week, Sunday week. Yeah?
Can't believe that.
And then that means that you're then looking at a different figure altogether, because the figure you're currently looking at and playing with is last year's figure. But 30th of June will give you a new figure. Now, before you publish the figures, the club will know that figure, is what my thoughts are. The club will know what their books are, because they've got to balance everything by the 30th of June. And then that tells us what we have and what we haven't got.
Yep. No, I think you got it right. Yes, it makes absolute sense. Which may be why we haven't done a lot of purchasing. Maybe because of the budget from last season. So maybe after the Euros and after the 1st of July, we'll see a lot of rapid fire purchases.
Yeah,
I hope you're right. I absolutely hope you're right. One thing I wanted to bring up, Archie Gray signed a new contract, and after watching the championship final, his performance proves to me that he's nowhere near ready to play Premier League football, so a big fat no.
DC said this before in streams before as well.
Yeah,
well, you can't.
We talked about this also earlier.
Yeah, you can't base a player off of like one match, but I get it. And opinions are always welcome for sure. Okay, Audio Artisan had a question. I told him I'd get up. Do you guys think that Bentancur is getting ready to see a ban for his comments? Do you think that's a possibility?
FA is discussing it.
Interesting. It's
whatever happened has happened. It was squashed between the players and stuff like that.
Jose, you're a native Spanish speaker. I forgot. So did you? So I watched?
I didn't hear. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at all. So
I can give it to
me, at the end of the day, it's happened, right?
Right.
But the thing is, it's out in the public domain, isn't it? And if it's out in the public domain, then you've got the people now saying, "Well, we need to do something about this." If you take it, and I haven't heard it, but if you take it by the way that it was said, and the way it was said, and the words that were used, if you translate it, I would have thought, if you translate it word for word, it may sound badder than what it actually was meant when it was said.
I agree.
But when you translate it, just sounds worse. But at the end of the day, it's been squashed between the players. They both understand where they stand. If they were to get charged, or if he was to get charged, because the Woke Brigade have all woken up and gone mad about it, if he was to be charged, then I would have thought Sonny would come to his defence.
I think you're correct.
And not be on the prosecution side. He'd be on the defence side.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, it was a dumb thing to say, but he was the first to come out and say it was a dumb thing to say. And he apologized. I mean, Sonny, kind of on behalf of everybody, kind of accepted it.
I did think that his apology letter thing was kind of weird. You know what I mean? It was like I'm sorry, but still, I mean, it's fine. He apologized. It just didn't read super sincere to me, but that's also probably a language thing and a translation thing. And you know what I mean? He wrote that himself. I don't think his team like helped him write that apology letter. So yeah, things get lost in translation all the time. It's hard to. That's what I was hoping. That's what I was going to ask you, Jose, if you had why I was asking if you had listened to the original, because I wondered if people were perhaps taking it slightly out of context, but who knows? But at the end of the day, like you said, it's done. I think that, and then Boris says if he gets a worse ban than Delhi did, it's going to be ridiculous considering Delhi's video was posted. So that's true. That's true. And I don't remember how much of a ban Delhi got for that. Do you guys? A couple matches.
It was a couple matches, if I remember correctly, like a 3-game ban.
Yeah.
But I think the FA would probably try to ban simply because I think that they take any opportunity to punish. You know what I mean? That they will, as Jose kind of pointed out, kind of woke brigade look for any reason to punish. Whereas I think it sets a better precedent if the players themselves work it out.
I don't really understand. Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. But I don't know. Dragon These Nuts says it's not just Sunny though. He insulted the whole Asian region. It sucks because, as with everything, I'm gonna be the typical politician and say that I mean I have an opinion, but like not a super deep one because it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a hard time getting a good grasp on whether or not there was any malice in it. I'm getting, you know what I mean? And I don't think there was. And yeah, I think with this one, everybody should kind of just let it go. But
it was a dumb thing to say. It was just a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of how many stupid things I say on a day-to-day basis. It's definitely some. But hey, and Adi Watterson says the fact that he felt comfortable enough to make a joke like that on national TV worries me. I get it. I get it. It's all a tough subject. And I'm gonna just, as usual, not really have an opinion, but I will definitely read out all of yours. Scott M is in the house. Holy smokes, Scott, what's up, dude? My favorite Canadian. Don't tell any of the others. So I have no problem with a ban because I want to be harsh with anything around racism, but they need to be consistent with it, which I doubt they will. That's a good point, Scott. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. And so far, we have seen next to no consistency in anything related to like the governing bodies of football. So, and Illmatic points out Delhi was just a one-match ban. So, Chris Lonnie's in the house, dude. What's up, Chris? He says, suspect the FA will punish Bentancur to show they're tough on everything, but cheating and fraud. I love it. Jesus Christ. Chris, I was reading that. I didn't even know that was coming at the end. That was a good one. Scott
Hi,
saying,
Chris. Hi, Scott M. Right, Scott. As I said, the way it was said in his native tongue, when you translate it, it sounds worse than what it actually is. And I, as you said quite earlier, there was no malice intended in what he turned around and in what he said, and the way he said it, and the way he delivered that comment. But people are cottoned onto it because some people have complained about it. And again, at the end of the day, if it will be looked at now, whether it's right for the Premiership. I thought if it's racism, right, as far as I'm aware, in England, racism is a criminal offence. So if it was deemed to be racist, then the police would be all over this, and it would be a criminal offence. So we'll wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good point. Turkey just very nearly scored, by the way. But yeah, I agree completely. Scott says, he also doesn't think it was malicious, but it doesn't excuse it or mean that it shouldn't be punished. Dave Clark, though, says if you're offended, be offended. Nothing happens. Grow a backbone for Christ's sake. Interesting take. And then we got Illmatic saying that Lola shouldn't go to Japan and South Korea for the preseason matches. It'll get ugly. People are flipping out over there. Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a good idea. And I'm sure the team will do its best. We've got a bunch of what I consider or hope to be intelligent people in charge, making these decisions, making sure that the right ones are made. David is not having it, but David's selling, he's nearly 70 and he does not feel the same way. And yeah, that just shows kind of the difference, I guess, in mentality, between age groups
Just to
these
say,
days.
I'm just looking at Jess's channel because she's doing the watch along at the moment. Jess has reached 1,000 subs.
Hell yeah! Yes, yeah. And that's a nice transition away from this topic. Yeah, guys, that's amazing. If you guys don't know, get to know, as Mr. Box Office would say. We have some friends over at JSY Talks Football Fan Channel. Jessie is the wonderful person who runs the channel for the most part, but she's got obviously some cohorts. They've reached 1,000 subs in no time at all. Lickety split, as we would say here in the US. So nice job.
Lickety split.
Lickety split.
Yeah. And just to say thank you to everyone and anyone. I'm now on 497, so I'm 3 away. I'm hoping I get the 3 today.
Boom,
so I'm going to carry on. After this, I'm going to go back to my phone and I'm going to work on it to see whether I can get some more people to come.
You need to be in politics, man. You're doing a good job. It's like a fundraiser. It's like you know what I mean? You'd be a good fundraiser, hitting people up. Hey, I'm Jose. I'm running for the Labour Party, and I want to. Yeah,
I don't know whether I can help any of the parties out in this country at the moment, to be honest.
It's probably like it is here. I have no idea, but yeah. So back to football stuff. You weren't here when I asked this either. So Jose, I just want to get your opinion. Do you think there's a chance for a Mourinho meetup for Pierre?
If Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, right, from his appearances for Denmark, both the games that he's played so far, if he has to then, if clubs don't then want to buy him, and he resorts to the last resort, he has to go to Turkey, then it's how the mighty have fallen. PEH signed with some new agents in order to facilitate a good move for him.
Okay, I wasn't aware that had happened.
Yeah, he did it earlier on. He did it back in January because he was looking to get out, leave Tottenham because he wasn't getting the chances. So he's got new agents and that representing him and that. And I think to myself, if he's done that, it's to get him a best deal, and that's what agents are there for. Although they take a slice of the action as well, it's to get him the best deal. And I'm just thinking to myself, from his first 2 appearances, he's played well, and he's played well enough to get a move to one of the top 5 leagues. Whether the team's in the top 5 in each division, that remains to be seen. But he's good enough to play in the top 5 leagues, and if he ends up in Turkey, then it's how the mighty have fallen, because he's still 28 years of age. PEH. He's still got lots of drive, energy, enthusiasm. He's still got lots of years to give to football, and it'd be it's a fall off a cliff if he left Tottenham and had to go to Turkey.
It would be, but I also think that, for one, I think the way that Denmark plays flatters him, and I think international football as a whole flatters him. I think that you get another second or 2 on the ball. I think the pace is slower. You have more time to look up, see what's around you, pick your passes. I don't know. To me, I think, and that's why you see so many players get a big transfer like after an international tournament, and then they don't look as good. But I think that almost all players look good in international football. It's just different. There's differences to it. It's not as fast paced. You know what I mean? It's not as much pressing involved. So yeah, I don't think Pierre is good enough for our team. I mean, not good enough for the system that we play. But yeah, he might be able to do. I mean, there was talk of Atletico, and I think that he would do good in that system. I think he could play that system.
So did you watch the England-Denmark game?
I did.
Okay. How much is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg worth, and how much is Declan Rice worth?
No kidding. Yeah, no, okay. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, call it for what it is. They both played against each other in opposite teams, and the one that looked the £105 million player was definitely PEH.
Sitting on our bench.
And that's not a one-off, because he played well in the first game as well. And the midfielders that are worth so much money for England have played awfully for the first 2 games.
Yeah, England just look like shit though. I gotta say that every time England's mentioned, that they just look like shit all over the place. You gotta caveat that it's Southgate ball, and I
don't think the guy knows what he's doing with this all-star team, and it is an all-star team. I mean, it really is. I don't know what kind of coaching you really have to do for them.
Well, I like David Clark's comment here. Oh, sorry. Go
there
ahead.
There was a guy, and I don't know what it was, but he was on Shitter. Some guy got interviewed, and he's worked with Ange, and I think he's worked with another Tottenham manager, and I can't remember who the other manager was, but he's worked not at Tottenham, but he's worked with these people, and he turned around and he said that Ange doesn't do any of the coaching. He said Ange hugs the touchline, and just 90% of the time he just watches.
Yeah.
And he lets his coaches, and he watches. And anything that he finds that's wrong, right, indifferent, and whatever, he then talks to the players about it in an individual basis rather than a group basis and that. And then he obviously observes the opponents that you're playing, and then he puts the tactics in place and what we need to do and whatever. But he does none of the coaching, is what he's turning. Or 90% of the coaching is done by his coaches. And that was an interview that was held, and it was on Share. I saw it on Share, and that's why they said that he differs from the other manager that he's worked with. And the other manager he's worked with, I think, might have been Pochettino. But he was comparing two different styles, complete styles of management, is what he was comparing.
Makes sense. I didn't know that about old Ange, but it seems cool. It seems like a cool way to do things, and maybe that's. He's been successful. He's been successful everywhere he's went. Maybe that could be a part of it. It makes sense to let the coaches and the guys do their thing, and the players, they're professionals. I mean, like we were saying about, I think that the players are being overcoached in the England team. I think that if they just let the reins, they just took the leash off and just said, go on, do what you like, do what you know how to do what you like to do. I think they would look a much better team for it. But yeah, take the shackles off. But and then we got everyone in the comments talking about if Højbjerg's crap, he embarrassed the so-called England superstars, says David. He said, so if you have more time on the ball, international, what was England players' excuse then? Please get serious. No, they played like shit. They're just shitty.
I'm just reading this comment. What do you think, right? Chelsea sells Maatsen to Villa. Mm-hmm. Chelsea buys Kellyman off Villa for 20 million, despite his valuation being 1 million and having played less than 100 minutes for 50 minutes of professional football. Villa signs Lewis Dobbin from Everton for 10 million, though his valuation is 2 million. Everton buys Tim Arabegum from Villa for 9 million, despite his valuation being 4 million. Newcastle is attempting similar deals with Everton for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Yankuba Minte. Chelsea, Villa, Everton and Newcastle need to sell players to stay within financial regulations by June the 30th. Academy players are being sold for inflated fees before the 30th of June deadline. We are know why. For context, highly rated Man United Academy prospects like Zidane, Iqbal, Mengi and Hansen have been sold for less than 1 million each. Those fees that Everton and Villa are getting is not normal. Same clubs are finding loopholes around financial regulations again. Chelsea spends heavily but can offset this by selling assets, offering long contracts and selling youth players. This needs sorting.
Yeah, it does sound like there's some corruption going on.
Sounds like there's a lot of corruption. It's not just some, it's a lot. And that's what I'm saying. It's either, it is, and this is what I said earlier on the show, it's either they've got really great creative accountants at the clubs, and the FA or the Premiership, whoever it is, have just got shit investigators. And things are happening under their own eyes, and they're just letting them happen. They're not putting a stamp on it. I mean, with Chelsea, what they did buying the 8-year contracts last year, they stamped down on that and said you can't have longer than 5 years. But the horse has bolted. They've done all their deals already by then. Yeah. And it looks like all these teams are finding different ways of doing stuff in order to, get around it, circumvent the wheel. I didn't realise these players were going for so much money. Because they're definitely not worth it.
Bizarre. And why... I'm trying to understand the reasoning, but I mean, I guess it's so that everybody gets the clubs that are in the most trouble. I don't know. So run that by me again. It all started with which transfer? Which one set it off?
Let me just find it again.
Thanks, boss.
Right. So you got to stay with me on this, right? So Chelsea sells Maatsen to Villa.
Yes.
Chelsea buys Kellyman off Villa for 20 million, despite his valuation being 1 million, and having played less than 150 minutes of professional football.
That's the sketchiest one. Yep.
Villa signs Lewis Dobbin from Everton for 10 million, though his valuation is 2 million. Everton buys Tim Oregbagnamam from Villa for 9 million, despite his valuation being 4 million. Newcastle is attempting similar deals with Everton for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Yankuba Minte. I think he plays for Man United. So Chelsea, Villa, Everton, Newcastle need to sell players to stay within financial regulations by June the 30th. Academy players are being sold for inflated fees before the 30th of June deadline. And then for context, Man United have sold academy players like Zidane Iqbal, Tender Mengi and Hansen, and they've all been sold for less than 1 million each. Those fees that Everton and Villa are getting for their players is not normal. Some clubs are finding loopholes around the financial regulations again. Chelsea spends heavily but can offset this by selling assets, offering long contracts and selling youth players. This needs sorting.
So they seem to keep kind of the money moving around. Is that what's
that's what they're
here?
doing? Yeah,
the money just needs to be moving. It needs to be kind of in motion and showing that there's purchases.
Yeah, and but inflated purchases. Because
who benefits from that? I guess everyone's trying to, but I'm trying to figure out of that situation you read out to me, which team benefited the most. But it's got to be one of either Everton or Villa, right? Probably Everton.
And Chelsea. And Newcastle. All of them are benefiting. All four. Yeah.
Just in a different way, I guess, in slightly different ways.
Yeah.
But
and Ilmatic has got it. He says Chelsea, Villa, Everton, Newcastle, thick as thieves, damn cheaters.
Yeah, man, and it sounds like it at least.
Boris says, well, it's like Ian Maatsen. He had a 35 million release clause, but Villa bought him for 37.5.
That is fucking strange, Boris. Good on you.
Last word on the Spurs. Leeds United to bid to sign Tottenham Hotspur defender Joe Rodon is set to collapse due to Premier League interest. Rodon had an outstanding season on night to Spurs, in which Welshman played 45 of the side's 49 championship games, including the playoffs. So they're saying that's collapsing. Leeds trying to get Rodon.
Well, that sucks. Hopefully we can offload him, but I mean he had a good season, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. So
AC Milan is another one. AC Milan are preparing a bid to send to Tottenham for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Hey.
New manager Paulo Fonseca has asked for a physical player with a strong defensive awareness, and the Danish star fits the profile.
I mean, wasn't he was highly regarded by like Zidane, right, at one point, and I think at Bayern Munich. Am I making this up? He played for Bayern, and I think Zidane was coaching him and said something crazy about him, like he was the next like Schweinsteiger or something, they compared him to.
Sorry, so I'm just reading. Ben Jacobs, right, says Chelsea close to an agreement with Aston Villa for forward Amari Kellyman. The 18-year-old is set to join for 19 million, as Matt Law first called. Kellyman made 6 appearances for Villa last season in all competitions. How is he, right? When you look at someone like Yamin Lamau, right? Yamin Lamau, what is Yamin Lamau worth if this 18-year-old from Villa is going to Chelsea for 19 million? What is Yamin Lamau worth? Yamin Lamau must be worth over £1 billion.
Yeah, something funky's going on.
It's just mental. It's just as funky as.
Yeah, it sure is.
Spurs. So you've got Spurs Connector saying Tottenham are interested in Fiorentina right back Michael Coyote, as reported by Nick Checha. There's loads of stuff on here. I've not really looked today because, as I said, I've had a cough and I've just not bothered. There's someone confirming that Ange is on tonight with the Romania game.
Hey, and also thanks for jumping on while you don't feel well. I feel bad that you don't feel well, buddy. Thanks for being here. appreciate
Tottenham are
you.
thinking of Michael Coyote, Fiorentina's 19-year-old right back. At the moment, however, Fiorentina is not in the mood to sell him, so we will talk about it in the future. 19
So we
years
want to
old.
play. We want a player, but they don't want to sell him. But that sounds like a open and closed book to me.
Yeah, but no one wants to sell. That's what everyone says. This is what these people get they influence because they get their ticks from people, keep going to it.
Yeah.
Right, so Portugal have just gone 1-0 up, and I only just realised it because Shentam says, "Damn it." Come on. I don't know how Turkey been playing because I'm on here, so I don't know. I'm hoping Turkey plays well.
It's decent. They're defending with everything they've got. They break forward. I mean, it's about how I would have expected them to play. They're not controlling the match. They're not retaining possession for super long periods of time. But they aren't terrible. And they put their bodies on the line.
So right back Emerson Royal has been investigated for criminal association, embezzlement, and procedural fraud. Royal's lawyer says this is a non-conformity against the decision that's already become final. So something's already happened, and they've said that he hasn't conformed with whatever a decision was. It's all legal jargon.
Yeah, it all sounds like not a big deal to me.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I can see on there at the moment. Right, chaps, I'm going to have to call it a day.
Hey, we're about to do the same, I think.
Yep.
But Jose, I just wanted to thank you again, man, for coming on. And everybody,
thank you.
Seriously, if you have it, let's get the link back up. Guys, if you have it, we need you to sub to Jose. He's 3 freaking subs away from the big 500. Jose does his best. He doesn't talk about it all the time, but he's broken his rule where he can talk about it today. Guys, let's get him to 500 before the end of the day. Tell your friends, if you got anybody you know that likes Spurs, or you just know anyone with a freaking YouTube account, just have them.
I've told people it's not just about Tottenham, because it's firstly and foremost about Tottenham, but I'll talk any football with anyone.
Yeah, I'll talk about anything. I'll talk about ice cream sandwiches. I'll talk about, Reese's Cups versus Kit Kats. I mean, political stuff. I don't really want to talk about that, but we can. But yeah, no, Jose, we'll get you that 500 today, man. We'll make it happen.
What dog you got, Alan?
No, yeah, I don't have pets. I have children, so I have my.
Oh, it's a child. Bloody hell! I didn't see that. Sorry. Hello.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
All I could see was hair. I thought it was a Yorkshire Terrier or something. Just with loads of hair. Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's not very good, was it?
Hey.
It's just fine.
If
you saw hair, I would have thought the same thing.
If you can see what I can see, can you see what I can see, Colin?
Yeah. No, I see it too.
Yeah. Oh, I see it for sure. That's funny though. That's really funny. And just so you know, Angel will be commentating on TNT, so you'll be able to see it because you have that channel.
Chris, TNT over here is not showing the European Championships.
Oh snap!
Over here, TNT ain't showing the European Championship. It's normal television. Sorry, terrestrial television that's showing the Euro. So the Euros and World Cups in England, the Euros and World Cups are held by the rights to them are held by the terrestrial televisions, and satellite TVs don't have any rights. So TNT is one of the satellite TV companies over here, but they have no rights at all to show any of the games.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to put something up for Jose before he goes. Let me get this banner off of here, and then put this image up. Everybody, get on over to LTL Cockerell, like and sub for Christ's sake.
Oh my God!
You don't want this guy after you.
Oh, you're mad, in ya?
Yeah, made you that. So everybody, we'll get you to 500 today, Jose. Don't worry. Especially if I'm gonna just send this image around to people with your channel name.
Yeah, send it to me as well. It looks kind of funky. I don't know how you keep doing it, getting me with pictures. I mean, the glasses look. Oh my God. I could have had better glasses than that, but the glasses just throw it completely for me. I look like I'm dressed for a drag night.
It's good. You look awesome. You look awesome. So I will make sure to send that to you.
I don't know in whose world I look awesome, but there we go.
My world.
Okay, in your world. Oh my God.
Yep. But hey, and with that, I think it's about time to end this part.
Chris, he is on ITV. That's where he's on tonight on terrestrial telly. Yeah, so it will be on ITV tonight.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, hey, so Jose, since you're leaving and we're leaving, I'll ask everybody. Alan, what are your final words for the night?
No, not much. Please subscribe to Jose's channel, and please subscribe to my channel, and please subscribe to Talkin' Ball.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And I look forward to again. If Jose brought up a great point about the financials and July, the June 30th being the end of the fiscal year, and potentially we start spending big in July. So I'm hoping that that's something that we see us spending big, starting to really spend in July, because we haven't really spent much of anything other than on Werner. So
yeah, I mean, it's just something that I thought about just now when we were talking, and I'm just looking at the dates, and it coincides that everything has to be done you've got to do your books by the 30th of June, and that's when your books close. You don't have to present them on the 30th of June, but that's when your books close. So therefore, you're going to know within your own club where you stand.
Mm-hmm.
So before the Premiership get to look at your books and all that, you know where you stand because you've closed your books off. So
yeah.
There was an own
goal.
Yeah. Just wanted to show you guys.
Hi, Mr. M. Hope you're well, sir.
Mr. M, my dude.
Who's the own goal for?
Portugal.
Portugal are winning 2-0 now.
Oh no.
I know. Sorry, Turkey. But yeah, so great stuff. And I think you're right. I think the transfers are going to start coming in. I really hope you're right, at least. Jose, what about you for final words?
Thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure being with Alan and yourself. Thank you for everyone in the chat that's joined the show as well. Thank you to everyone that's going to be watching this on playback and listening to these two fine gentlemen. An old codger came and joined them really late in the party and showed his age, but there we go. But no, everybody, be good to each other, like Colin says, and don't get embroiled. Just wait, be calm. Come on, you Spurs, and in Ange I trust.
Boom.
You Spurs.
I'll echo it. Yeah. And Ange I trust, and Ange we trust. Come on, you Spurs. And like Jose said, everybody be good to each other and let's get behind each other. And all fans are fans. We all want to see the team succeed, even if we think sometimes differently about certain things. We're all Spurs fans together. We're one big family, and we should treat it as such. And so please make sure you're a sub to Jose. Please make sure you're a sub to Alan and myself. And we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm gonna play us out with just this short one. No, Madison one got deleted, but I'll put it back. But here's what I'll play for now.